the identity of other marginalized people.
But I feel like Contra also makes kind of light, self-deprecating, misogynistic. This is something trans women will do a lot, where when they make a mistake, they'll do like, oh, well, you know,
Very good.
She's done it a few times. If would we argue then, like, okay, well that is also like you're gonna like this is misogyny that's amplifying the worst elements of the movement.
He called her fragile and described her critique as random drama before pumping up his own ability to deal with the blowback on social media, with no awareness that the way people would attack a man will of course be less damaging than the attacks against a trans woman. Come the fuck on, dude.
She's so fragile. Yeah, well, the thing that bothers me is that Contra knows how much tactics like her own hurt people. Contra's literally been like driven to like opiate addiction, relapsing, and alcoholism because of the behavior of Twitter woke skulls. I would expect her of anybody to be really sympathetic to how like I don't know, damaging it can be to do like really random drama idpol attacks for no reason other than to like from like that kind of stuff, you know? It's not really as much of a risk for me.
Vosh's hair looks like a sleeping goose right now. Obviously, like the worst friend. You know what I mean? I can't believe she would say these things to me. You know, when it happens to her, she just starts doing drugs and drinking like a psychopath.
Because I'm obviously handle criticism better than she does.
Yeah, he's not
And
a woman. He's not allowed to
cry-bully
claim misogyny.
while being a cry-bully.
I guess I can't really be too mad about things. She makes one video a year, and every time she gets in trouble online, it destroys her emotional state. I just wish she would be more respectful of other people's emotional state, because even if it doesn't affect me as much, like, it's still bad to do, you know? There's nothing that I respect less more than the pithy cry-bully abuse of people who have less tolerance for disagreement than you know? So because they're more easily hurt, they assume that, like, it's okay for them to hurt others, because in any direct
holy projection, Batman!
engagement between them and others, they'll always be the one who, like, feels worse after, which was no doubt the case with me, too. Otherwise, she wouldn't have spent a year simmering before releasing a response to drama that was a year old.
It blew me away that this is how he would respond to valid critique about an issue impacting trans people. From a trans woman whose work has elevated the conversation for millions of others and has been extremely open about her challenges being a public figure and transitioning on YouTube. I was really disappointed that he would treat a creator I looked up to like this. But
I agree too. I'm gonna hop in here, Rid. You know what the worst part about this is there needs to be like a lot of different people on the left to get leftist shit done, right? I can't do, and I mean, I guess I could literally make videos like Contra does, but it would be like an exercise in doing something that I don't really want to do, in order to achieve a thing, and I just it wouldn't be gratifying to me. I like doing this, and I think I provide something else too. You know, Contra and people like Contra have a hard time weathering not criticism but abuse. I think really is what it is. I think, and I see this like President Sunday, despite the fact that he's like a bit of a you know, firebrand online. He takes stuff kind of seriously. Like if Destiny called me a pedophile to 10,000 people, I'd be like, all right, well at least they know my name. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? That shit glides off of me, and I can go and have that fight. And I think what ContraPoints probably thought she was gonna get out of a relationship with Vosh, even just a friendship with him, is maybe some support in that area. You know what I mean? And if you just have somebody who's like, hey, I don't like the way you said it, she's like, all right, you know, whatever, let it go. But his fucking reputation is all he has, because Vosh doesn't argue off of facts and shit. And you really leave people like ContraPoints and like other soft-hearted and not good on their people that can't get into the arenas and shit, but that are still like very important as like kind of like pushing thoughts in certain directions and making stuff that's immediately impactful without you having to watch 4 fucking hours of stream. Like Little Joel and Sarah Zed and all the rest of these kind of individuals out here, they do their own thing. And as leftists, what you need to be supportive of is just these individuals when they do these things, and trying to make sure that, from my side of things, like if you have a problem with Contra, I want you to have a problem with the way that she brings shit up. But what Vosh, would have been more valuable for him to do instead of trying to attack Joanne Rowling as a fail for clout, and then not just letting it go, is get out there and fucking scrap with all the people, respond to fucking Contra haters and shit, and be like, okay, this is just, it seems like all of this stuff that's on here, because she gets dogged on by like internet trans people. Like that I bet that Vivian fuck that I talked to. I bet they have probably a couple Contra videos. They seem like they're bred from that ilk. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if you. Fuck you. I fucking love Contra points. Fuck you. I can't believe you're acting like this. It's crazy to know that that's exactly what Brianna Wu would sound like with a British voice, a British accent. But the point is like getting out there and trying to fucking like, hey, yo, this isn't the kind of criticism that's valuable inside this sphere, and be a little bit more immediate with those conversations. But like, Contra really got let down. I feel like deeply got let down by people in the sphere that I'm starting to occupy, because like video essayists and basically long form, high effort content creators fill their own niche, and I think the live streamers do too. Fill their own little area, and you should have like a bit of a handshake. Doesn't mean you have to get along with everybody, but like Contra got, as anyone could predict, betrayed by the individuals of her era, right? You know what I mean? Okay, so you know what I mean? Okay, so she's gonna get treated like shit by the. I'm a fucking tank. You didn't say this word the right way, and I'm a fucking tenderqueer. You didn't conversate this way, but. And she should have had some people going to fucking bat for her, and she really did. You know, like Vosh was probably one of the people that was like best poised to do that. And then when he said, you know, basically ContraPoint's bad because she criticized me and she seems like a disingenuous, it kind of ended that conversation going towards help her, because Vosh created a system where none of the people under him can immediately argue on her behalf, and you know, Destiny is like fucking a lib, and Hassan's useless. Hassan doesn't even really exist in our world. He's like some other sort of creature overall. And so like when it comes down like to the dirtbag left, she just got fucking left in the dust. And those are the kind of people that needed to be most on her side, because that's the direction she was going. You know what I mean? She's not philosophy tube, making like hoity-toity fucking videos to be viewed in, I don't know, powder rooms between makeup application or whatever the fuck. Like, philosophy tubes, you know, kind of a fart huffer, in my honest opinion. Kind of a self-important fart huffing, not much to say, and taking a lot of time to say it individual. I think ContraPoints was really valuable because she understood the internet about the bans, and she wasn't just using the internet to get ahead. I think she actually had some shit to say and knew how to say it on this platform. When you get like a philosophy tube, it's kind of like, all right, you just really want to be on the BBC. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell that you just just really want to be like you know, a person of the moment wherever the fuck it is that you live. That's that kind of thing. But like H-Bomb and fucking ContraPoints are in the same world. And like, you know,
Yeah.
H-Bomb doesn't give a shit because H-Bomb can ban.
Last
You know,
call.
he doesn't give
What's
a shit.
last call?
But like ContraPoints got like
Start before it's
absolutely
fully gone.
left to
Oh, I'm
right
gone.
and,
Good.
like, just
How much is
mistreated
left?
until
Okay.
she disappeared. I'll talk some shit because I'm a fucking nobody.
Rough my life. Actually, no, don't do that.
Really rough shake. Like, you think about it, she just got fucking left to the fucking wolves, man.
I was fucking enraged that he was bringing down the trans community as a whole with his inability to demonstrate humility in the face of such blatant punching down on that
Mock's talking about
community.
those
Like,
mullets.
everyone hates you. Quit being selfish. You live in a community, in a society. I'm not joking. Quit being selfish.
A lot of people have negative perceptions of terms like ally, and Vosh is a perfect example of why. Many so-called allies, especially in the online communities, perpetuate antisocial behavior under the guise of helping progressive movements, when really they are focused on building up their own personal brands, and they don't give a shit who they step on to get there.
Yeah, my man's
Watching
spitting.
Bosch, a white man who built his career as a leftist progressive, shitting on women because a trans woman does it, was so disappointing to me as someone who had consumed so much of his content. That's how my perspective of Bosch and people like him changed. From feeling like he was edgy and somewhat problematic, but an overall positive influence to the online space, to just another dude creating conflict for clout and money.
This frustration I have where other people treat me poorly.
People are flaming Philosophy Tube's performance on House of the Dragon last night. I guarantee you, I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it probably tonight, hopefully. I would almost bet it's probably a bit justified. Philosophy Tube is not a good actress. I don't know how to say that politely. It's not a gender thing. I just can't remember if it's actually like rude to say actress anymore. You're supposed to call everybody actor regardless of gender. But they are not a particularly talented individual. Okay, I'm saying this is a person who just loves making shit and observing how it's made. But they use their YouTube career to creep up into a position of relevance and just basically became an influencer that you can add to a project for clout, which is why they're not going to get any serious fucking roles ever, but they can get a little speaking role. It's gonna, if I had to guess, it's probably just like when Ed Sheeran showed up as a singing Lannister for that one episode, and you're like, the fuck is this? Why the fuck is Ed Sheeran here? She's not like the worst actor ever, but like, I just don't think she has any valuable chops. You know what I mean? I think she's, I think she's a person that's kind of wheedled her way in, and that's pretty much it. Because I've seen her performances, like I've seen her perform, and it's just really uninspired. Is the nicest way to say it. Wooden and pointless would probably be the better way to go. And oh my god, who helped you get this role? Because it wasn't a casting director that wanted you here would probably be the way to fucking settle it. With all due respect, if you like her and you just want to see her and shit, fine. You know what I mean? But as for chops and like stage presence and charisma and stuff, you know, everything that Philosophy Tube has ever done well, ContraPoints did better while drunk. I'll just say it like that, and that's kind of kind of like it. You know what I mean? It just everything about her is just someone else's skin worn poorly, in my opinion. I could dog on Philosophy Tube all day. I would be excessively rude to Philosophy Tube. It's kind of mad. I feel like a part of me is upset because she saw like ContraPoints kind of like stepping away, and it feels like she tried to do even more like, I'm the noticeable theater kid trans creator person, but she's like very JoJo Siwa to like ContraPoints the Sex Pistols. ContraPoints is grimy. That's the okay, hold on. I'm sorry. This video is good. He's right about everything. The best thing about ContraPoints is not that she's well put together. It's that she's fucking grimy. That's what makes ContraPoints hit. ContraPoints is just like John Waters. You can tell she took a little bit of fucking love from it. She's got a real bit. It's not edge. It's like sloppiness and slime and perfect. philosophy tube shit is way too fart huffing, high art nonsense. It's like watching, I don't know, watching a John Waters movie. What's the one with the cha-cha heels? I can't fucking remember. Where the lady's in the birdcage and shit, and like trying to replicate the birdcage set, you know, and thinking that like lighting it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to light it correctly, and I'm going to put the camera on a really flattering angle, and I'm going to try to follow like the rule of thirds, and everyone's going to have their makeup on correctly, and I'm going to make sure that I don't make all of the mistakes that John Waters made when he was filming this. And then you get something and you're like, what is this French shit? What is this? You know what I mean? You get something and it looks perfect, and the thing is like by the time you get it, and this is the problem with Abigail Thorne, everything that she makes feels like this pre-packaged, coated up, fit for consumption, stamped and like sent out like little product, and it's worthless to me because of that. It really feels, because when you're talking about the working class, you can't climb up to your ivory tower. That's the point. Is when ContraPoints is doing the ivory tower, Mother is up here. Mother is drunk. That's the point. She's shitty. She's shit-faced. She's disheveled. Her makeup's on a little off. Her hair's not quite right. She's sloppy in the way that she's laying down. Her set's in disarray. Everything's just got a little bit of grime on it, and it's so perfect. And you know that it's intentional. And if it's not, then it's inborn, and it's even better because it's just natural to the way that she makes shit. It's like having fucking distortion on a guitar, and it fucking slaps. It's so fucking good, and it lets the message go home. Whereas I watch fucking anything from Abigail Thorne, kind of like 4 or 5 videos before she came out as she transitioned, and it got like, that's when it started getting way too. I remember the one that it was when she was still male identified, and she gives a speech or something, and then she like raises her hand, and it's got like the blood. I think it's about Elon Musk, and I went,
you can come
is that
up.
the reveal?
Just go ahead. I need to find something in my backpack.
Oh my god. It's like you're watching like a RuPaul fucking lip sync for your life, and someone's like, woo, and they do a little spin, and like they were wearing a green skirt, and then just another green skirt drops down. You're like, well, what was the point of that?
Can't hide anything from you.
What did we achieve with this? And like that's just it's only gotten
Catch
worse.
up,
The last one that I even
path
tried
leads
to
to that
watch, she had
canyon.
like the snake on her, and so she was stuck doing like this thing the entire time, which I don't know, maybe it references a painting or something. Who gives a shit? It looked like a fucking perfume commercial, and like I'm not here to watch perfume commercials. I'm here I want to talk about the working class.
Have you tied down the boat?
Not bombing Walmarts and stuff. Also, like as far as bands go, fucking Jesus Christ, ContraPoints is legendary.
I know.
ContraPoints deletes more bangers before noon than fucking Abigail Thorne's entire team of writers could fucking put together for her in a lifetime. It's really quite
I
madness.
feel you.
Really, the difference between like actual like American talent and British fucking like replication of good shit that we do over here. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, the Strokes seem so good, and then you hear Johnny be good one time, and you're like, oh fuck, these guys suck.
I am off to the Jabberwocky village.
You're fucking like, wow, man, I never realized that all these fucking like British fucking like pop punk bands or whatever the fuck they were called from the fucking 2000s all sound exactly the same. It's actually like 10 different bands playing the same song over and over again. Then you like listen to what they stole from 80 years ago. And like, dude, you guys ever heard R.L. Burnside playing fucking Jumper on the Line? That shit. It's one of the hardest fucking songs to play. Shit goes fucking hard. One guy. I love it. Contra is just fun. It looks like she's having fun in her videos. BT is just reciting a lecture with set dressing.
Fancy. Oh, and there's a
I
dirt
love
floor.
Abigail's Cosmonaut video. That shit goes hard. I'll take your word for it. I'll say it's the best video she's ever made because I'm not going to watch it.
Soul Trail always delivers.
It's a problem I've had with a lot of British
At first glance,
intellectualism.
it
It's all
looks like
dry,
we have everything
sardonic
we might
nods
need.
to previous work. It really is. You know what I mean? I think that's the issue. British people are like the worst people to talk on class issues. I don't know what is wrong with you
We're
guys,
officially settled in.
but like, There's got to
remember
be
the
some good ones
agreement,
over there, but
but
I don't. What is
maybe
it
you
with
should-
you all not
maybe
fucking? You
we
got
should
a Labor
reconsider
Party
this.
and then just no one to
I'm
talk
not sure it's the
about.
best idea for you to visit them alone.
I think it's just British conversation for some reason. If you want to make a point, it has to go to this like hoity-toity received pronunciation type like. But what we really need to understand is that the worker is the one that needs to be put forward before all of these other people, except for H-Bomb. H-Bomb slaps, but H-Bomb's not British. He's fucking Welsh, right? Which is different. That's why he's fucking based. He doesn't go out to Irish people or even Scottish people. Fucking talking about British people, right?
Hope you enjoyed your time on the west side. Don't forget to subscribe and like.
It helps me a lot timeline wise here, so that will give me some good. Oh, that makes that worse.
Yeah,
knowing that.
Sorry. I went through. I endeavored to find necessary information because it does. It's obviously quite relevant to this. Knowing that the individual would be what is 13 years older than you. If you're 13 and they're 26, is a substantial difference. But you guys hopped into the Discord and started talking immediately off and on. Did you join her Discord or did you just friend each other?
There was, I think, a server that I was. I forget. I know there was a couple people in it that she still has around. I know Fawn was in it, a partner at the time that she had that she's not dating anymore. Some other folk that were just chill. What's it called? I know at first it was just DMs, and then I was invited into a server where we would go into VC, and it was either a server or a private DM call, or like one of the group ones. I can't remember specifically, but I think it was a server because it had VCs and text chats.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
And what did you
I
guys
can't-
talk about, and what was the nature of the server?
It was pretty casual. I know there was an art section, so it might have. Yeah, it would definitely. Okay, so it was probably a server then if it had an art section, and I know Fawn posted her stuff there, and I posted my stuff there. If it wasn't a server, then it was definitely in DMs or a private chat with all of us in it, because I remember us talking about the different art and Demon Mama being there and Fawn being there and some other folk being there. I don't want to name them. If I do name these people, I don't want them to like get thrown through the gutter for this because they were just there.
My primary focus on individuals that would have been around Demon Mama at the time are on people that are still around her now.
Okay.
So Demon Mama, Fawn, notable figures in her community like Gay Fesh and the like. Any of those individuals, I would like for you to bring up if it's okay with you. But anybody who's a sort of like a private citizen and has since departed, there's absolutely no reason to bring them up.
Then in that case, I won't bring them. Just yeah. All right. So at that point, it was casual, and I know I was sharing art. I don't know if it was not safe for work in nature at the time, but I know I was just sharing general art that I made in the chat, and Fawn was sharing the stuff that she made, and it was mostly not safe for work in nature. Some of it wasn't. Around then, I would say that's when like the sharing of it became like it started with Fawn. I know Demon Mama did share some of the stuff that like she didn't draw. I know she doesn't draw, but I know she did share some of the stuff that she was into as well in the art chats.
Can I? This is going to be a little gross. You're already familiar with this stuff, but can I describe some of these images, and you can confirm that these are the ones that you sent me, that she sent you earlier?
Yes, go for it.
So one of them is this is from Pseudophon on July 28th, 2020. It's like the back end reproductive organs of a horse with the tail.
Oh,
up.
the atomically accurate horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I remember when I saw that the first time. I was shocked. I was like, oh, this is this is a bit much even for what I expected Fawn to be into. And at this point, well, I guess we'll get to that in the timeline. But at this point, I thought well, I guess technically even I didn't follow it at the time as a minor. The now sharing of the not safe for work stuff while they moved to the wherever they moved to.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm gonna be honest, getting sent atomically accurate horse pussy out of nowhere was kind of like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person very much. And there was a general, I think I might actually have it in the DMs. There was kind of a gap before I talked to them again because it did make me uncomfortable at the time, and I won't lie about that.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that.
There's another one. You might be a little bit back where the gap seems to be between Pseudophon in that same year, but April of 2020, sending you a picture of an erect penis with I'm assuming that's her like avatar or something hanging off the side of it.
Yeah, I am not sure what
Yeah,
that
everything in
is.
quarters left.
That one.
What?
Yeah, I was confused
Is anything
as well
missing?
about that one, but
I'm not
I
sure
kind of just
yet,
was like, yeah,
but it feels that
and
way.
then moved on because I really didn't want to acknowledge it, I guess.
And these people were pretty
Looks like
aware
everything's
of your
ready.
age. I mean, you said you were in
Mia,
voice chat. Obviously,
bring
if
me
you're
a
under,
lighter?
even 16 years old,
Yeah.
you're probably, as they say, a
When I
squeaker.
mentioned we seemed
Yeah,
to be lacking
it's
some
interesting you
equipment?
mentioned that because it was
Don't tell me.
told to me more than one time that I acted
Yeah,
older and
we have
everything
no
for my
fire.
age by
Yeah.
these people. So
Not a
it's
single lighter,
it's
nor
funny
box of matches.
in a
That's
fucked up sense, and it's
We-
not funny. It's
We
I'm
ordered
coping
both.
horribly right
Did you
now.
check
I'm,
no,
everywhere?
it's completely fine.
I did.
Did you think that was a major highlight of your relationship
not
with
the best
these
start of the
individuals
expedition.
while you were in the server with them? That you were notable for your youth and for sort of, I don't know, your kind of permissibility with sharing these fairly explicitly sexual images.
it like they acknowledged it, but it didn't really change anything. I guess I kind of was just another one of the people in there, despite my age.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I guess I can get into this part of the timeline then, the video call incident.
Please.
I think we were playing games at first, but it ended up being either we were playing games or drawing or hanging out or something. So I know Dia Mama and Fawn were in the call, and Fawn turned on her camera, and I look over, and she's flashing dildos on her screen and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And what's it called? Demon Mama did. I will mention Demon Mama did go Fawn, like telling her to stop, but it did not stop Fawn for that to then go into detail and tell me which dildos were joke dildos and ones she actually used.
Jeez. And how old were you at the time?
I would have been at the most 14, 15.
Okay. And were you on video? They were looking at you. You were looking at them, or is it just one?
I might have been on video. I don't think so, though. I don't think I had a webcam at that point.
Gotcha. And you would say that so very clearly, Demon Mama noticed that something inappropriate was happening. They're fairly aware of your age, and she did not cut the call, even though she could have, and put a stop to that.
Yeah, it could have ended right then and there, but it did not. The call just kept going. And
how did that make you feel?
I was really uncomfortable in the moment. I didn't really know what to feel, I guess. I'm still kind of not really grasping the gravity of what has been going on and what has happened. I'm still very much just, I guess, I just feel like fucked up about it. Just feel weird and
Mhm.
really not good about all of it. And
Was
uh,
would you say that at your age, was this probably one of maybe your first sexual experiences with
oh yeah,
another person?
I would definitely say so.
And they
Yeah.
sort of made that decision for you.
Yeah, I would definitely agree on that. I did not consent to that at all.
Hmm. Was there more of this sort of horse playing with sexuality, knowing that there was a minor around happening, or was this kind of a one-off, or maybe something that they were
Um,
testing the waters with? What was your impression?
uh, Honestly, now knowing what Fonz tweeted, I don't know if there was anything malicious going on. I don't want to like imply that I feel that way, but it is really weird that she was so open to talk about her kinks and like
Hmm.
do that and share her not safe for work. And a lot of the not safe for work she did share with me around that time was like Binding of Isaac characters, and the stuff she still draws is Binding of Isaac characters. And if you know what Binding of Isaac is, it's about like dead babies
Yeah,
and
little
kids.
children.
Yeah.
When did you find out about Fawn's Twitter and her sort of predilection towards being very open with a sexual attraction towards minors?
When you made your stream about it, actually, I didn't
Oh,
know
really?
those tweets existed.
Oh, okay.
I knew I followed her on Twitter, but like after a while when I made a Twitter, but I didn't know those
Oh, Mia,
ones
the fire
existed.
is
And
burning.
when I realized it matched up
Give me a
around the
minute.
time that I met her and started talking to her and interacted with her,
How do you do it?
it made me really uncomfortable
so
And
knowing
calm.
that she was sending me all that stuff and
I don't know how to
talking
explain it,
about
but
all that stuff while actively
strangely,
jerking it to
feels safer here
Shotokan.
than there.
mhm.
Oh, I don't know.
I, I,
Jaguars,
I don't want to
spiders,
press you too
snakes.
much more on that,
Let's
but
not
do you
forget the
think that there's a
scorpions.
direct
A
relationship
mere
between
ants bite
their
hurts like hell.
I am well aware of that.
maybe not necessarily
Still,
Demon Mom as well,
we
but
have a chance
certainly
to achieve
Fawn,
something.
their relationship with you and these tweets that they were
Home,
making? Do you
all
think
we
that
could have
there's
done was be
possibly a
helpless and
direct
wait.
connection? Because they're almost.
I don't want I really don't want to believe that. I really don't want to think that she did
I
that
love you.
and thought like
If I
that.
didn't remember my ambition
But
would
there
lead
there
us,
is a chance,
if I
and
knew
I
it
really
would
don't like
put
that.
you in
That there is a
danger,
chance that that's a
I
possibility.
wouldn't have written
I
a damn
I don't
book.
want to.
Yet,
I mentally don't want to entertain that because I've
attitude,
known
there
her
would be no
and
scientific
talked to her
progress
and like
whatsoever.
have heard like
Don't blame
sad
yourself.
fucked up shit from her and
There
her
might
like
still be
we've
time to reverse the
had
whole
one-to-one
thing.
conversations
And
about our
I love
existences
you
and
too.
all of the fucked up shit in our lives,
Lewis,
et cetera, et cetera.
I'm a
Mhm.
bit
But
worried
like
about
I don't
meeting the other one.
I guess because of how I
Everything
viewed
will
her
be
as
fine.
a friend in quotations because of
Everybody agreed
our
that's the only
very
way.
fucked up relationship. It just
They don't seem to
it
like
hurts me to know that
They
that's
don't
a
seem
chance.
to like outsiders.
To know
This
that's
is
a very
Shot
real
arrows at a
possibility.
military chopper.
hard
this
to
is something
believe.
I've heard
Too public
a
people
few
don't
times from people
understand
that
what
are
we
leaving
do.
Demon Mama's community or even connected to it, that they maybe witnessed something inappropriate, had an inappropriate experience, maybe felt some uncomfortable feelings, and the sort of trauma relationships that were built between people and the sort of friendship that they didn't want to lose was something that they felt they had to put ahead of maybe, talking about how uncomfortable they were or talking about maybe ending a certain kind of behavior. Do you feel that that might have influenced decisions on your part to say, like, hey, don't ever do that again, or I'm very weirded out by this, or anything like that?
I would definitely say so. Uh, I think that's probably why it took until hearing all of that stuff and seeing a friend of mine come on your stream and shout out to Triptych for talking about the Demon Mama stuff because I didn't know they left and I knew they were in the middle of the shitstorm that was the Demon Mama mod team and that whole community being the fucking mess that it was. And it was a mess when I moderated it, and I can't even imagine how bad it was now with how culty it got in there.
Mm-hmm. Um, it is. I'm going to get to that and some of your work history here in a second. I think I just have one immediate question, and then we could finish up the timeline. There's just one other
Hello? Mia?
screenshot you sent me. I want to read it to you, and then I just want to get some of your impressions on it. You guys were talking about some other stuff that might feed his
Left
ego.
already?
What is really funny, this is
Why
from
didn't you wake me up?
July 8th, 2021, about a month or a year after some of those
Well, I
previous
was
ones.
hoping we'd have
You
breakfast
wrote,
together. You surprised me.
it'll feed the
That's
horny
all.
minds, including mine. By the way, if you're worried about NSFW stuff, I'm 18, so we vibing, guys. And Demon Mama said, I'm not anymore, smiley face. You've always been respectful about that. That's a very curious thing for an adult to say.
Oh, lovely. Oh, we're getting into this. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, when I forget when
Exactly what I
this
wanted.
happened, but
It
I was
even has
probably, I
solar
think,
batteries.
maybe 15, 16. Whenever she moved to Seattle or Washington or wherever the hell she is, I was told not to send not safe for work to her anymore because
Tell me
the
about it.
state and wherever she was moving to, that would be a huge no-no.
But not because you were a legal minor.
Yeah, no. Before that point, it was free game.
And so, were these things that she not just welcomed, but like asked for? Was there any aspect of like ordering, so to say?
I wouldn't say that. It was very like just casual. Like I was just one of
Well rested
the
and
what's
well
it called?
fed.
It's one of the boys. Just
Perfect.
we're chilling. We're
And
sending
keep
each
it that
other
way.
our art
We
and
need that brain
the
of
stuff
yours
we
working
like,
at peak performance.
and just kept
I'll try
going
to take
until
good
that
care of it.
point, and
Have you found them yet?
it did stop.
And as expected, they
For a
don't
good
want to
bit.
talk.
I think it
They
stopped
behave as
for a
if
good
I am
bit.
not here.
But they
On my
haven't
old
driven
account.
you away.
I
That's a good
because
sign.
I
You need to
remember
convince them that you're one of them.
her being very like
Agreed.
thankful about it
That seems
at
to be
least
the right
once,
course of
and
action.
before the screenshot
I
that
will
I sent
sleep on
you.
the edge of the village and only eat what I can
Uh,
find.
but I guess that didn't last very long.
And if we,
Brave girl.
I have another one up here.
Thanks for the
I think this maybe you sent a picture of
Looks like I'm
buttholes
on my own
to
from now on.
Demon Mama.
We
And
can't
this
get in
is
touch so often as long as I
November
remain in the
27th,
village.
2019. So of
Been thinking
course,
the same,
it's called
but
Draw
didn't wanna
Pile.
say
It's
it.
supposed to get wild. How
I
are
really
you?
don't wanna
Good
lose
dude.
touch.
Drawing buttholes for the
If
first
anything
time.
goes wrong,
She says
I'll
good
leave the
anatomy
village and get
practice.
you on the radio.
And then you
Otherwise,
guys kind of
you can
start a
assume everything is
conversation.
just
So
fine
this
and there's
is
no need to worry.
you've sent pornography to an
All
adult
right.
who is
That's
at
Well, I
least
was like 16
I'll be focusing
or
on
17 at that
indexing new
point. I
plant
would've been
species.
17, I think.
which
I saw a few new
we did.
specimens
So
around
she's going to
here.
be about 29, 30 years old.
Mm.
There's no judgments to you.
Hmm.
I think that if a minor sent me a not safe for work drawing, I would probably just say, don't do that anymore. But this was a pattern of stuff. How does it make you feel, now that you're a bit older, somebody with that kind of age difference exchanging, kind of freewheel exchanging pornographic material with a minor?
It really fucks me up now. Because like if I was in that, I'm thinking like of myself if I was in that position now as an adult, like talking to like a minor. That's fucking gross.
Yeah.
That fucks me up bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like thinking like I don't know what the thought process that makes this okay is, but I can't find it
Yes.
in my noggin. It just should be no, and the fact that I broke the rule that she set, and the fact that she was just fine with it and didn't reprimand me or anything, that is rather telling.
Well, I think also there being a rule that's
That
not,
is also telling.
yeah, it's sort of establishing the nature of that interaction seems, that it in my mind, I'm going to use this word. You don't have to agree with me, but this does strike me as being at least a touch predatory. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but
yeah, I will a little agree on that one. It is a little fucky in that regard.
I'm going to try to move the conversation away from this, at least for a little bit. If you want to return to it later, that's absolutely okay. But it's actually even, it's a bit much even
I
for
know I
me.
was
I have
supposed
to
to not
assume
call,
it's
but
probably a little bit for
The
you.
line snapped and I fell down.
Yeah,
a
it
good
is
30
a
feet.
lot.
Moving
Are you
into
okay?
the Demon Mama community,
I'm
which
not
you
sure.
ended up being integrated into and eventually working for by your own one statements to me, you started drawing thumbnails for her, and also acting as a moderator. Can you tell me how that relationship evolved to that point?
I was brought on as a mod really, really early on, as I think just because I was a friend of hers and she needed mods.
Could I
I
could
did
I
my
ask a bit of a at a time point?
That's definitely not good.
when did she start her channel? Probably I would probably say just start of her channel. I don't know the exact date, but like really
it's all right.
extremely early on.
Nothing's
Like a
broken.
2016,
Just scratches and
2017
bruises.
ish.
Nothing to worry about.
You know, I think I'm
Jungle, every
supposing.
scratch
Sorry.
can be
If you want to look it up,
You
feel
need
free.
to patch
I
everything
will
up.
look it up.
Remember how to do
4
it?
years ago. Let's see. So 2020. So about I would say about mid
Say that I
2020
remember.
to
Okay.
like late 2020. I
for
started
morning
modding
media.
for her and
It has
being active in her
long
community.
leaves without any markings
Um,
and is surrounded by
and
yellow flowers.
on the mod
Okay,
end, it
I'll
was
go look for it.
it was the
You
it's
should have
interesting
it in your
the
notepad.
moment
Call me when
that
you treated your wound.
a bunch of like
Roger that.
the political
Over and out.
frogs all really swarmed in from all the lefty side in quotations. The mod team kind of had its first implosion. The head mod at the time and thumbnail artist Gina kind of had like a meltdown, and it was a couple things leading up to it, but the entire I forget if she was going to delete. She was going to delete something important or start banning mods at random because she had the power to. Um, but we had a full lockdown of the mod chat, and we had to cycle out the thumbnail artist, the head mod, and I think we had to do like a big old talk as all of the mods, and that was like barely when she was like a 1K, 2K subscriber. Like she was really small at the time, so it was already kind of a mess at that point.
Mm-hmm. Were a lot of these people carryovers from the previous Discord you were in?
A couple of them were actually. I don't think they stayed for very long. I don't think. I met Gayfesh as a mod in Demon Mama's community, so that's he wasn't in there. Who was? All the people that I can think of have either disassociated from Demon Mama entirely, or like have just kind of faded out into non-existence from doing whatever they're doing. So as far as I can remember, I think most of the new mods that were there were either friends of hers or just new people that came in from the community that she trusted eventually.
Mm-hmm. And that seems like it's pretty common that she keeps her friends close. It's a very tight circle.
Yeah, I would say so. God, what is it? I forget if there was. I know there was constant fighting in the mod chat. It seems pretty standard for lefty political things, but there was a lot of bickering and like arguing over just nonsense constantly in with the mods. Um, and there was more than a few times that the new head mod that we had, and I think even Demon Mom had a couple times had to go in and argue with some of the people that she had and drop some of the people that she had going. Oh God, actually, there's an entire what's it called thing here. I forgot about. I might have to inform you about that at another time.
It's all good.
That's something to get into potentially. But for this, sorry, I'm drawing a blank really bad right now.
No, it's okay. I sort of took you off the road. I was just giving you room to speak. We were going over the timeline, and right around 2020, I think it is, when the start of her channel, you became a mod. You started doing moderator activities. I'm going to assume standard message removal, bans, approvals, that kind of
Here I
stuff,
am.
Yep,
and
yep.
making
All wrapped up
thumbnails
nicely.
because Demon Mama was aware of the fact that you were an artist for reasons.
So when I started doing thumbnails,
not
actually,
much.
not only did I do the thumbnails, her Drama Mama section, I did
So,
the animated
how are
intro
you doing?
for that as well. funny story about that one. And this one pisses me off as an artist. I made that in like 6 hours because she wanted it done before her next stream.
Mhm.
So it looked like ass, and like it's okay. It's an animation, yada yada. It
Why
works
are
for
they
a stream or
opposed?
whatever. But I went back and took like multiple weeks out of my time while sick to make it better and nicer, and I sent it to the editing team at the time, and it was never used.
Mhm.
So
And
that, on a
to-
personal note, that pisses me off.
sorry.
Sounds
To
dangerous.
So sorry to
clarify,
cut you off.
by sick,
Be careful.
this is right around the time that, or after the time that you contracted Lyme disease, which is something you're still living with now and is fairly serious.
Yeah. June of I honestly it would have been at the end of that year because of COVID. Yeah, at the end of that year, I got COVID and it triggered the
Mia?
Lyme disease
What happened?
that I had dormant in my body since I was a little kid, and just a brief. And like it's okay. It's an animation, yada yada. It works for a stream or whatever. But I went
Mia,
back and
speak to me.
took like multiple weeks out of my time while sick to make it better
hell's
and
going on
nicer,
over
and I
there?
sent it to the editing team at the time, and it was never used.
Mhm. And
So that, on a
to-
personal note, that pisses me off.
sorry. To
So sorry.
clarify, by sick, this is right around the time that, or after the time that you contracted Lyme disease, which is something you're still living with
Yes.
now and is fairly serious.
Yeah. June of honestly, it would have been at the end of that year because of COVID. Yeah, at the end of that year, I got COVID and it triggered the Lyme disease that I had dormant in my body since I was a little kid, and just a brief overview of my Lyme and all that. It causes me seizures, immense chronic body pain. I contracted SIBO, which is a small bacterial overgrowth, and I've vomited 185 pounds out of my body in the past year and a half
That's
from that.
pretty terrible. On top
Yeah.
of the unfortunate revelation from my shit posting on YouTube.
So that's fun, but during that time it was just the seizures, and actually no, the vomiting was also a factor during the later end of the work relationship. So I can get into that when that's timeline wise applicable. Um, for the timeline stuff, Demon Mama's thumbnail thing. I was only meant to do thumbnails. That's what I signed up for. That's what I was told I was going to do. I quickly learned that wasn't the case. I would be managing all of her titles, doing all the tagging for the video, making sure they get out on time. I even made all of the categories for her videos because she didn't have any, and I thought it would be useful.
So you're essentially running the channel. You had a login to her channel.
Yeah, I had a login. I had a full access to everything.
Which, for the record, none of my editors have on my channel. That's an extremely large amount of responsibility for someone who was at the time, you were just 18, I think.
In 2020, I would have been like 16, 17.
16, 17 then. So you're a legal minor with running a YouTube channel for someone that's 13 years older than you, pushing into the being 30, if not into their 30s, and not getting a lot for it. Did you guys agree on a compensation schedule of some sort, or was this just, hey, we're friends, and because we're friends, you're gonna do friend stuff, and maybe if you don't get it done, we're not gonna be friends anymore?
We did have a payment system set up. I forget if it was, I think it was like once, whenever YouTube, the payment went out, she would send out her pay for all of her team or whatever. I think it was once a month, on I think the 15th, whenever YouTube does its whatever payout, and she would collect all her funds and send it out. I could see the YouTube payout. I didn't know how much the Twitch was, but I know the Twitch was more because she talked about it a couple times, and I knew for a fact I could do math. I knew at least at the start. Okay, how do I preface this? At the start, it wasn't good pay, but it was understandable given her channel size, and I can understand paying bills, etc., etc. But
Would you
when
say it's something fair, and maybe you expected that it would increase as the channel that you were putting your
would say
labor in
that.
got bigger? Okay.
Yeah, and as the labor increase grew on my end with doing the tags and titles and making sure they went out every other day, at this point, this is when I got like sick, like with Lyme. So I was like I was being pumped full of antibiotics and being horribly ill every day. And I would have to wake up I remember at 10:30 and just fucking hope and pray that I could figure out a thumbnail and title in 30 minutes so I can go back to bed and be horribly sick and sleep all day again.
And to kind of hammer it home, you're still a minor at the time. Were you in school as well?
Yeah. This one's a little hard to explain. I guess I was bullied out of high school and then did online school for a bit and speed run through that, and I was essentially in college at 16.
Okay.
So that's what I did. It is an interesting mess.
You know, if you went through some bullying like that, did you think when you were going through that and then having to leave school, did you feel
Oh,
like
shit.
isolated? And did you ever share that with Demon Mama and her sort of circle?
Oh yeah, they knew about what happened to me with those people. Those the people that did all the fucked up shit to me like tried to get into her community, and Demon Mama like banned them per my request. And like I told her all what happened to me with those people. Like she knows all of it.
And you're safe now, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm safe now. Like I'm all good now.
But you were working for her and putting this entire YouTube thing together for anyone listening to this. I'm cutting this chunk out. When I do my own uploads and write my titles in, it takes me about anywhere from 5 to 10-ish total minutes of doing a bunch of different little things. Was that about the amount of time it probably took you per video just for the upload stuff? Not to say anything less of you did all of the thumbnails and whatnot as well, correct?
Yeah. The hardest part for me were the titles because I'm not a very good written person. I'm a
Yeah.
person. That's how I struggle with.
Make sure to wake me up. I just went back to sleep, but I did do my chores and some schoolwork today.
Information about, and I'd preface
I
this
know.
as well. I never got any information about any of the videos that I was thumbnailing. Every single thumbnail I made for the most part was me just guessing what the hell was going on in those videos, and like skipping through it a little bit.
I respect that. I am good with words. It's like one of my things, and titles are nightmarishly difficult for me as well. It's usually what takes me the longest. Obviously, typing them in, not big, but trying to figure out a way to sell it in 100 words or less, or 100 characters or less, it can be a bit daunting. Especially if you actually, I was in the video. if you didn't watch it, obviously that's going to be a lot better. And if you had to guess, what was your overly monthly compensation? Sort of, if you had to guess how many hours and how much money you made, what would you say those figures were?
If I remember correctly, I would do 20 to 30 thumbnails and like all the titles and all that, yada yada. And I would get at the start it was about like 200 to 250, but by the end of the year it went down to like $80. If I remember correctly, that was
with no work slowdown on your part.
Yeah, no work slowdown.
Gotcha. Okay. And this is how many videos? I think you said you were doing 33 to 66 or some odd. I might be inflating those numbers.
A month it would have been about like 20 to 30.
Okay.
But like overall it would have been, I don't even know how many at this point.
So with that in mind,
come up.
obviously you watched my stream on. I was a little bit irate with Demon Mama holding on to information about another creator being abusive to people doing essentially the
What
exact
exactly?
same
You're
work that
trying
you
to
were
gain the
doing. Did you find it maybe a touch hypocritical that she
Oh,
would?
I found it so fucking ironic for so long. It's been
Very
it's been a
well.
joke in my
Get
fucking
you out,
friend group
yes.
that
Path
whenever
leads
she
through that
brings up
canyon.
AI art and like how to treat artists, and it's like, oh, what about Glooby?
If you had to guess, I've seen your you guys had a friend put together a spreadsheet here with I'm assuming I think it's the last like 3-ish months of work. But how much do you think you've probably been jilted or shorted here?
Overall, probably I don't even know, hundreds. That brings me to my favorite part about the work thing
Hmm.
was uh, she told me that financially, uh, I think I when I sent the spreadsheet into her thing and it was like, hey, the pay is deficit is like fucked here. I think I have this. I don't know if I sent you the
Found the tent.
screenshot, but I have a screenshot of her saying that the pay that the channel is just not doing
The
well
camp looks impressive.
and it's
They put up a
struggling
tent
and et
for
cetera,
us. Looks like
et cetera.
everything's ready.
She
Soul Trail
is
always
trying
delivers.
her best, yada yada.
At first glance, it looks like we
But
have
then
everything we might need.
I see a tweet from her at the end of the year saying that she went and got a $5,000 custom phone split from
Well,
somebody and
that's
flew out
everything.
and went into
We're
her Trippy
officially
Red
settled
concert.
You know
Mhm.
what that means, don't
So
you?
in the
I've
same
seen
token,
that she was
Understand.
bragging about that on one of her
You should
streams. I actually looked it up
maybe
because
we
you
should
mentioned
reconsider
the
this.
tongue split. I guess
I'm
it's
sure
one of her
the best
iconic
idea for you to
features,
visit them alone.
and she sort of
Daddy,
maybe paid for at least a bit of it
I
by
have to do this.
shorting
It's the only way to make
a
them
minor
talk.
who was
No,
working.
don't worry.
Well, you might have been over 18 by the
Better
time
pick up
you
some
finally
weight.
split. I'm sorry, I
Let's
didn't
have a
hammer that
romantic
specifically home. When
Romantic
did
canned
you
beans.
finally get to a point where you went, I've not been paid in months. I don't think I can continue on with this.
Like I don't know exact. I think it would have been mid 2021 to late 2021 where I was so sick. I was just like, I physically cannot do this anymore. I
Mhm.
think it was a physical issue at that point because like I know the pay was low and shitty, but I was poor and needed the money anyway, so it's like, fuck it, I needed it. But once my physical was so ass, it just became a matter of I can't do this anymore. It's not worth even the bit of money I'm getting.
And how
Um,
receptive was she to your issues about working conditions, expectations, pay, and the like?
I will say she, when I did tell her that I was sick, she was like, "I understand. We'll try to accommodate." That may have only applied like 3 or 4 times. Whenever if you notice in my thumbnail, like my era of thumbnails, there's ones that aren't like the little character or whatever.
Mhm.
Those are the days that I'm so sick I physically cannot do it. Like those are the only days that it's not mine.
So you're like
Um,
working yourself to the bone for, I'm seeing some of the compensation here is basically like roughly $2.80 a video at the absolute worst, and at the best, in the spreadsheet you shared with me, 22 videos in a month for $260. You have it out at about $11.82
Honey,
for a thumbnail,
I
doing all of these
can't
uploads,
seem to
writing
find a
titles, and
bag for you.
basically quite
Are you
literally
sure you
turning
got
her
everything?
content into money, because that's what gets
Yeah,
changed
everything the
over into
porters
ad
left.
revenue are these videos.
Why? Is
mm.
anything missing?
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet,
Yeah.
but it feels that way.
Did you feel? Oh, I'm sorry. Please.
Oh no,
Looks
sorry.
like everything's
I was
ready.
just making
Yeah.
noise.
Can you bring
It's
me
all
a
good.
lighter?
Did you feel that there was
Remember
a true and
when I
honest
mentioned
and
we
open
seemed to
line
be
of
liking
communication
some
to
equipment?
air your grievances as a basically
Don't tell me.
employee of Demon Mama?
Yeah, we have
Not really.
Not
I
a single lighter.
I felt like
Nor
I could
box of matches.
talk to her, but I feel like if
We
and
ordered
I did
both.
and
Did
still
check everywhere?
kind of do feel like there was always like a wall of just
Well, not the best start of the expedition.
it doesn't matter what I say at this
Yeah.
point.
So
Or
you could
like-
always have a nice conversation with her, but criticism would be something that was not met with open arms, so to say. Maybe not necessarily hostility, but you don't.
Yeah, I didn't negative conversations with her were not something I wanted to have because it felt like when I did bring up the pay, it felt like I was being put like I was wrong and I should feel bad for it,
Mhm.
even though every person I've talked to about it has told me I was wronged and yada yada about it. So it's still confusing for me because I still feel like I'm in the wrong. Like for
You're not.
this.
I need to find something.
This is I can actually step away from journalism for ethically speak. This is wage theft. That's wage theft. If you had an agreed upon amount, or if you were being taken advantage of and not being fully paid, you are fully justified in feeling wronged about that. Don't let anyone take that away from you at all. That's if this was kind of any other community, that would be maybe less of an important issue. But this is all leftism and workers' rights and stuff.
Mia,
And so,
fire is burning.
I've seen Demon Mama talk, I mean, I guess to some degree about that kind of stuff. Obviously, she's with Mason and Vosh and that whole kind of crew. But do you think, as a person that was kind of within those circles, that she practices what she preaches when it comes to,
Oh,
you know,
I don't
treating
know.
workers
hell no.
fairly?
Fires and
I don't think so.
spiders and snakes. Let's not forget the
it's-
scorpions.
What
Mere
what
ant
makes it
spiders,
more
like hell.
interesting to me is she knew how sick I was. I was very open about like the seizures and the vomiting and all that stuff to her, and she wouldn't check in. She wouldn't unless like came running like, hey, I can't upload this, I'm really fucking sick. Maybe I'd get a response sometimes.
Mhm.
And if
I'll miss
if
you.
I did, it would be hours
I'll be
later,
worried.
either from her or from
But I'll do
somebody
some
in the editor
work in
chat
the
saying
meantime.
being like, yeah, okay, I got it now, and then the video
When
would
we
just
meet, I
sit
should
there
be
for a
able to
couple
catch a
hours
fish
Mhm.
because
and
it would
start
just
a
be
fire
me.
with a single spear
And
strike.
I
you
was the
were
only one there.
still doing moderator work as well during some of this.
Yes, during the first bit of it, I know I eventually stopped doing mod stuff because it was just too much, and the mods were getting on my nerves and being overwhelming and obnoxious. So I just didn't want to deal with that anymore. So I
They don't
just
seem
stepped
to like
aside from that.
outsiders.
Mhm.
They shot
And
arrows
how
at a
how did
military
you?
chopper.
Because obviously this is not anywhere near enough to approach living on. How were you supporting yourself to live outside of working alongside Demon Mama?
Really trying to get any kind of commission job I could. Mostly living through my family to support my meds and everything like that because it is expensive to manage Lyme disease and treat it, let alone be in a spot where you're stable. And at that point, I didn't really know what was going on with the Lyme and what meds worked. So it was a constant battle of expensive medicine and trying to find work to support that medicine and feed myself. And I will mention this as well. There were more than a few times I had to ask her for money to buy myself food
Mhm.
because I could not afford it.
Money that she
Ugh.
should have paid you.
Yeah, should have paid me.
Where are you?
That you should have paid me in the first place.
Yeah. So at this time, your
Remember,
support
you see a
structure is
totem,
basically
do not go any farther.
your
These are
natural
clear
family that you
warnings.
have. Did you have friends outside of this, or was it pretty much just kind of like
Well,
your
I was
social
hoping we'd
circle
have
is
breakfast
this
together.
kind of
You'd
internet
surprise me,
crew of
that's all.
people that are in and around Demon Mama?
Yeah, it would have been just the internet people. All of the IRL interaction I had was really shattered off from the bad group of people I interacted with before. Like I've met some really good people from Demon Mama. I have some really good friends from that place, and I still do. I met my partner there, and
Exactly what I wanted.
it's
They even
awful
have solar
because a
batteries.
part of me is like I don't want to change what happened because I technically owe. I don't know. I don't owe her anything, but like the interactions that I've had there have led me to the place where I am now with the
Tell me
people that I have now, and I'm thankful for the people I have now. But not for her. She
No.
sucks.
Do you do you think some of your negative feelings tied up around talking about this, about discussing ways that I think it would be hard pressed for me to find a person that would say you weren't wronged, both in the pseudo sexual relationship you had with her circle as a child, and also the very, very exploitative work relationship you had with her? Did you feel even ever feel that that might be taken away from you, or that your negative feelings towards this might be that Demon Mama or people close to her might try to essentially destroy your relationships that you have in retaliation for talking about these things?
I was, and I'm still very actively worried about what this is going to do and what it would have done then, especially then with the people I knew. Because like all of my friends then were really into Demon Mama's like whole thing, and we all eventually left for our own reasons because everyone got sick of the treatment there and how things were ran, et cetera, et cetera.
Brave girl.
But I was worried about how this would affect a lot of things with people that I've known from there. And good to know that everyone that I do talk to from there all has the same consensus about this.
Mm-hmm.
Been thinking the
Thank
same,
God.
but didn't want to say it.
But yeah, I was
really don't wanna
worried
lose touch.
about how this would affect things with people I knew, and the person I was actually worried about that I didn't know left a year ago at this point was Triptych.
All right.
They were a big
Focus
mod
on the
in
goal. I'll be
Demon Mama's
focusing on
community. I know they were
indexing new
very
plant
outspoken
species.
about how they felt,
I think I saw a few
and
new specimen
I'm
around
glad
here.
that continued with the bullshit Demon Mama was and her mods are probably pulling then, and probably why they dipped.
Mm-hmm.
I should say.
Would you say, if there's someone else that feels this way, not like everybody has to turn their back on Demon Mama, not be her friend or anything like that. I'm not making that argument. But for anybody that feels scared of walking away from that group because they're going to like lose everything, or they have feelings that are like that they maybe couldn't quite put their hands on. Do you think it's worth it to walk away if you're feeling that way? Do you feel good now that you've got this distance and this clarity on the situation?
I would definitely say so. Especially when I was working for her and my entire like existence was essentially was her. Like my friends were all associated with her. My job was her. My day to day was drawing her, thinking of things for her thing, yada yada yada. That I would have never have thought to do this. This would have destroyed every single opportunity I had, my source of income, all my friends. At that point I thought I was fucked if I did this.
That's very reasonable.
But now with the people I have and everything like that, it is very scary, and I am actively shaking in my boots. But it was worth it, and I knew it was right when I felt relief telling my partner and then telling you,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that this is out there or going to be, and it's just over. It's giving me like a bit of, I guess, just relief mentally and physically, like
Mm-hmm.
a weight is off of my back, I guess, in a sense.
I don't want to push you to making a conclusion, but you described a situation a little while ago that would be pretty crazy. You know, you said you woke up, you were sick, and your friend circle was Demon Mama, and your job was Demon Mama, and you drew her, and you talked about her, and you made things for her. To me, that sounds like almost a religious-y type thing. And I'm not going to push you, but would you say that there's an aspect of cultishness maybe in and around how her circle operates, and kind of in what she maybe
That's
expects from
definitely not
people
good.
that are immediately
Oh,
around her?
totally. It is such a cult of personality. If it wasn't then when
it's
I was
alright.
there, it is so
Nothing's
bad
broken.
now. Like, oh my
Just
God.
scratches and bruises.
I can't even
Nothing to
imagine how
worry
bad it
about.
is now. If I was like that then, with all the people, how we all just talked about Demon Mama and all her politics are so good. Oh, it's all Demon Mama, all Demon Mama, all Demon Mama. I can't imagine what her chats are
Yes,
like now,
I
where
do.
it's even more
All in area.
controlled and more like
Long, smooth,
what's it
acute
called?
leaf, surrounded by
Withered
yellow
out non imps, I guess,
Okay.
in this case.
I'll go look
Mhm.
for it.
I would definitely say it's very culty there. I haven't been. I've like
Roger
checked
that.
in there once or
Over and out.
twice to see like how much stuff has changed, and it just looks very, very one-dimensional in their thinking. I guess
Mhm.
is the way I'd put it. Very demon mama oriented.
Basically, literally on that same note, with the nervousness and stuff that you were feeling, have people been trying to reach out to you, or do you feel like there's been any pressure as you've been getting ready to come forward?
Funny you mentioned that. So about an hour ago, or a couple hours ago at this point, when I woke up, I got a friend request from Demon Mama, and I have a message from her on Twitter. I have not read this message. I've read like the first little preview bit of it, and
Mhm.
I'm already really not looking forward to this. And I wanted to save that for this. So we're going to do that. Yippee! I'm
Okay.
going to struggle.
I'm,
If that's
I'm
okay.
ready when you are. If you would like to read it now, or if you want to continue the conversation before we do it, either's fine with me.
Sure. Let's. I guess if because it. I guess because it matches with that a bit. I should do that now. Oh God, what is this? Okay. Okay. Hey Glooby, I wanted to ask you something. I was informed by a friend that they saw you posting a thread about following the Discord of a guy who's become dangerously obsessed with myself
Here
and
I
the
am,
family and my friends.
all wrapped up
And I
nicely.
assumed it was someone impersonating you, and you've recently messaged me and talked a bit very friendly. Hell, you're on here last messages. We're helping you get that GoFundMe going. And I want to mention this GoFundMe thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost went homeless
not
one
much.
time, and I messaged her that hey, I'm gonna go fucking homeless. I need like help. If you
Oh,
can
yeah,
send
what are
this
you
out there in some capacity. She was like, yeah, sure. 4 or 5 days later, I get a retweet from her on it.
Nice.
That was her grand help, which that upset me for multiple reasons. One, because I've known her for so long. Two, I've seen her like do entire charity streams for other
Why are
people.
they opposed?
But God forbid a close friend.
Yeah.
So I know it's like it's just upsetting that that was what I got from somebody I apparently helped so much, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So the rest of this.
Sounds
I assumed it was
dangerous,
someone impersonating you, and recently messaged me and informed me to find me. When I went to message you, you had blocked me on Discord. I figured I would send a message on here. What, if anything, is going on? Westside Tyler is a dangerous person who recently threatened to dox and injure or kill a friend of mine and a former artistic collaborator of yours. I don't know what's going on, but please be careful in engaging with him. I truly hope you're not going to help someone so unhinged and violent to try to hurt my partner and me. That would truly hurt me to my soul.
Mia?
I'm hoping this is simply some
happened?
kind of misunderstanding, hoping to hear back from you.
Mia, speak to me.
And this
Mia.
is the first time you're reading that. How does that make you feel?
My partner and I had 3 bets. Either I was going to be guilted, or I was going to be yelled at, or I was going to be told that you were insane.
Got 2 out of 3, right?
Yep. Fuck. That's a message and a half. Holy shit. Yeah. I don't believe anything she's saying here. Gayfish is a crybaby. He whines constantly about people and then removes them, like, or tries to get them banned on their socials or whatever, and then wonders why actions have repercussions. You don't shit talk people and don't expect them to reciprocate in any sort of fashion. But Gayfish is unaware of what is it? Actions have consequences. Sorry, I'm like what is it called? My brain is like shitting itself. I'm running circles mentally around myself and struggling to talk. This is a lot. I'm not
It's
gonna
okay.
lie.
You relive pushing a decade of history in just about an hour, and some of it was more than most people I know would be comfortable speaking of, much less to a stranger. And I really appreciate it. I don't have much to add on top of that. I was saying this to some people. I was discussing not everything, but the nature of what we were going to be talking about. And my general disposition to this was I really hoped that you were lying 100% because it was very bad. I would have rather this not be the case. I really would have, and I'm sorry for the things that you went through. No one deserves to go through that at all, and no one deserves to have those as memories that they have to deal with. And I'm personally, like person to person, I'm very impressed by you for having the courage to come out about this.
I do really appreciate. I'm not gonna lie. For a good bit of this, even you when like my girlfriend was telling me that she was like proud of me for this. I don't. I have a hard time understanding when things apply to me with these kind of things, like when it's like fucked up shit. Is this is not my first rodeo in sexual abuse. So just I took it in stride, I guess, and just tried to not let it wear me down like other shit would. But eventually, I guess just seeing Fawn do that or talk like that and knowing how oblivious I was and how badly I was just trying to be their friend because I just wanted friends, it really upsets me and makes me feel really sick, I guess, as well, to my stomach, knowing that I was not only that I was used in that way, but coming back to Demon Mama messaging me now and saying this stuff, it feels so much like she's trying to save her ass. And save her partner's ass.
Do you think it's telling or strange at all that she doesn't bring up what you guys both know passed between you and wants to sort of have the conversation even at this point as a victim on her own end?
It is a bit strange, to say the least. I really don't like the fact that after all of this and how vocal she's been for victims of every kind of abuse, that the person that she talks or and like she's brought up so much is someone she's actively done so much of it to. And whenever like I think about the fact that she just brings me up on stream, and I want to mention that as well, that she really oddly she never talked about me. Like she stopped bringing me up for like a year. Like she didn't mention me at all. But relatively close to when all of this started going down, like timeline was, I randomly brought up and talked about, and I felt really uncomfortable being brought up by her. And I think that honestly spurred me down this mental line of going to you, to be honest. I thought I was done with Demon Mama when I left, and she stopped talking to me and stopped interacting with me like a friend. There was a good bit where we did talk and like interact while she was a streamer, but at some point it just became transactional and like work related exclusively. And then even then, at that point when I stopped working, I would go to her and be like, "Hey, we should play games. Hey, we should play games. Hey, we should play games." And I would get excuses and ignored.
Yet again,
It felt like as soon as I wasn't of use to her, I was nothing.
One thing I want to just say is if Demon Mama was in the room with you right now and you could speak to her directly, what would you say to her about her conduct?
I would just like to know why. I don't know why, if this is a standard that she supposedly has for other creators and other people around her, I don't know why it didn't apply to her and her partners. The people she interacted with then, I don't know why it didn't matter to her then. I don't. I it just sucks. This fucking what is it called? Demon Mama, just knowing how much I know about her as a person and knowing everything, it's just very, I guess because I was living through it, it wasn't surprising then because I was living through it, but now it's just really surprising to me that after all of this she's talked and how much she's pushed for all of these things, it all just goes back to being bullshit and being a front and behind closed doors once again abusive behavior is at the front end of it, I guess. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank here. I'm like having a mental moment about all of this. Not
No,
gonna
no,
lie.
it's perfectly reasonable. As a matter of fact, we can go ahead and move on. I want to give you a chance to say you're Glooby. You're an adult now. You're separated from this. There's more than likely people are going to want to try to reach out to you. I will not provide them any direct way to do so, but if they wanted to support you via commissions, you are still an artist, or anything like that. Do you want to plug a way to try to help you out or support you, or do you have anything else that you would like to say in
Sure.
closing?
Let me think if there's anything I missed before I get into that. Gone over that, went over that, went over that. Okay, I think I went over everything I wanted to. You can support me on Kofi. I think I have it somewhere. I can look it up. But I have a coffee if you want to support me. I don't expect or really want support if possible. I don't, that's not what I'm, what is it, mentally and all that doing that for. But that's an option if you want to commission me. I do animation and 2D art. I mostly do 2D animation though, as my main artistic ability. I will also say this about the animated stuff for Dio Mama. I got underpaid for that, and I had to argue with her to get better payment for that, and that's what spurred on the whole like, oh, I need to, what is it called? What is it? The channel is struggling, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had to. I did 2 animated commissions for her. She has this little imp that pops up in all of her videos that does like the like and subscribe thing. That's also my work. And actually, this I forgot to mention. This is a big thing about the work stuff as well. For about a year and 3 months, my work was uncredited in her stuff after I left,
Oh no.
and I had to go to her DMs and be like, "Hey, my shit isn't being credited, and this is really upsetting me. Why hasn't this been updated?" And to her credit, it did at that point be updated, but I don't think it should take a year and a half or like year and 3 months for my work that you constantly still use on every single video to be credited, and especially if you're not going to pay me for the constant use of my work after the fact. I got paid like $40 and it's been used for like fucking what, 4 years now.
Jeez. That's that. If you've watched my streams, I'm very pro workers' rights. I've been burned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get it. The frustration is miserable. Thankfully, I've only been ever screwed over by people I didn't like already, so there wasn't an extra bit of sting there. But I too am a little bit brain twisted. I'm stunned by this. You seem like a very resilient person. I can only wish you the best going forward from this. And I'm gonna end the call, or not the call, the recording, and then if you want to add anything after that, you can. But if you want to say your piece, and I'll end the recording, we can cut it there and then say our goodbyes.
Sure thing. Honestly, at this point, if there's anybody else in DM Cord that has had something similar, please say something about it, because I doubt I'm alone. I at this point, I'm the only person that this has happened to or something similar. If that is the case, please do come forward. I hope if my thing does anything and means anything, it allows other people to talk about their stuff. And for Demon Mama, you need help, and Fawn really needs help. It just sucks because I know there is a good person maybe in there. There was a little bit, but for that kind of shit, it's fucky. Yeah, I don't want them to like get destroyed and dogpiled and fucking annihilated because I know they're people, and I even after all of it, I still care about what happens to them. I still care about them. Their safety and well-being is very important to me. So I want, if anything, I want it to be not overtly vicious overall towards them. It's not worth it. It's not gonna bring me anything. It's not gonna make me happy. It's not gonna make me feel better. It's just gonna stress me out and make me feel worse about the entire situation. So that being said, those fuckers need help really bad because that's fucked. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And yeah, I got nothing else on that front.
Fair enough. Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, and I really appreciate you coming out and like letting me talk about all this and giving me a space to air it all out as well.
No, absolutely. I hope the recording is perfect. I've been freaking out because this is like one of the best conversations I've ever had with somebody. And thank you again.
Very much appreciated.
Thanks again to Glooby for reaching out. To reiterate, I've confirmed Glooby's real identity through photographs of their state ID, and they are the age represented in that conversation. I am profoundly disgusted by this situation, and I believe without reservation that these issues will not self-correct without a robust response and intervention by the authorities that be. I believe Fawn's actions specifically, and Demon Mama's actions to a similarly egregious extent, violate federal law regarding transmitting pornographic materials to minors pursuant to United States Code Title 18, Sections 1470 and 2252, and 47 U.S.C. Section 223D, though local statutes may take precedence in this case. I'm going to end this video by simply urging people in this sphere who have associated with Vosh, Demon Mama, or the other individuals mentioned in this story to question everything you know and everything you think you know about your relationships with them. There has never been an excuse for any of this, and it cannot be permitted to continue. There is no conceivable excuse I can think of that would justify these behaviors or people covering for them. At some point in the future, I'm going to be looking more deeply into Vosh's other close associates, including his major donors, notable chatters, and the rest of the deeply, deeply suspicious White Leaf Cooperative. If you know anything about these individuals, I will be discreet, professional, and receptive of any information you'd like to share. That's it. The kid was wearing a Simpsons shirt for some reason, by the way. So you get the line, the blood seeped through Homer Simpson's face, pooled around the kid's lifeless body. There is this many pages of text until the next important thing, which is all just them. Ben goes into, again and again, long, drawn-out explanations of media cycles that occur between one thing happening and then another thing happening that are like these chain reactions to something occurring. And it's all the media cycle doing it, because Ben Shapiro lives in a world where when he talks, anything other than fucking bad shit happens. The all the way from here to here is just again and again. It's just like, oh, I can't believe what happened. This, blah, 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 blah. This happened, then they caught it on, blah, blah. The newspaper headline the next day said it all. The kid takes charge. What? That is the most... I have never, in my mind, actually like had someone perfectly write out the spinning newspaper cliche from a movie into a book. But that is it. That it's inarguable. That's what he was thinking. Like fucking Batman noises. The kid takes charge. Who is the kid? Have we been calling him that the entire time? Because it's not super common in this that I can remember Why would the public at large know who the fuck you're talking about? That's the newspaper headline the next day. What fucking news? He repeatedly talks about, like, then CNN, then Fox News. Like, he names publications throughout the entirety of the book. This is the one time he does it. And I just have it, it's just like, Shapiro Town News, the kid takes charge. Like, who the fuck would write that headline? I was in journalism and the Marine Corps. All of it's offensively wrong. Do you see what they wrote about me in the paper? The kid takes charge. It's hard for me to do this, but it's also very cool. Literally, shit happens, all right? Shit happens. We find, whatever. Then a week later, the real bomb. A report appeared in the New York Times, filled with anonymous accusations of a sexual liaison between Brett and a young reporter, Diana Kelly. Kelly had requested an interview with Brett a few months before. She'd been studying at Harvard's John F. Kennedy School of Government. Who gives a fuck, Ben? And wanted to write her thesis on counterinsurgency. Why? Why would you even talk to him? Like, what the... She was 30, sexy, and extremely sharp. She'd taken to running with Brett during his morning jogs, quizzing him, questioning him. They spent long nights huddled over maps of the country, with Brett explaining in minute detail how the insurgents would plot their counterattacks. That is, first off, and I can't express this to you enough, not COINTEL or counterinsurgency. Counterinsurgency has nothing to do with battle plans. Counterinsurgency is a philosophical application of force and unit strength and tactics and like what do you have? Resources in order to counteract an insurgency. It's not about battle plan. Battle plans is fine. We figured all of the ways to fight literally like 100 years ago, basically. I know that sounds crazy, but it all boils down to there's certain things that people can do and you just protect against them. Novelty, expect novelty, and that's it. Counterinsurgency shit has nothing to do with battle plans. It's all like, hey, we've got to figure out why the people that are here like us less than they like the people who are insurgents. It's like, okay, well, we really need to stop killing their children. We have noticed that causes a serious decrease in our favorability polls. So we should stop killing their children, and also we should consider leaving because they fucking hate us. If that's not an option, we're gonna have to figure out something else. Well, we can't. We have to stay here. We definitely have to keep killing their kids. All right. Well, this is definitely more of a chess blunder of an operation at this point. But we'll see what we can get going. But that's what counterinsurgency stuff is. It's awesome that he's like the John F. Kennedy Center for blah 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 in Harvard, whatever, fucking jerking off into your own fucking mouth, bullshit. And then he talks about counterinsurgency and just gives the almost a perfect incorrect description of what it is. It's like he thinks it's just counterattacks, which is fucking awesome because like this isn't like I'm smart, all right, and I'm really good at the military. Like I'm a military this is dumb fuck shit that just everybody knows. It's just dumb, basic information. It's not high level stuff, you know. It's like walking into a fucking onto a farm and being like, "Wow, you've got some great pigs here, sir," and the farmer just looks at you and goes, "Them are cows." What you mean, pig? That's it. It's that level of like, what are you talking about? Impossible to take seriously. Ben went to Harvard. That's why it matters. He thinks that makes him important enough for a man bear to plow. So it should make her important enough for the man bear to plow. I don't know what man bear pig. Also, the reason that I highlighted this is where I realized that he's supposed to be a stand-in for, like, I think it was, I'm not going to look him up because I don't care. But it was like General McManus or MacArthur or something like that. I can't remember. And then General Petraeus. General Petraeus, who hilariously, this guy that I knew, who's an old man who worked actually in fucking counterinsurgency operations. I met him in North Dakota. He hated General Petraeus. He would call him General Betrayus. I just wanted to share that. Petraeus got in trouble right around when I was like in my second year of college, so like 2011, 2012, for infidelity, which is actually a literal crime in the military. You can't be you can't cheat on your wife. You go, like, you get in military trouble because the military has extra laws called the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, that are true fascism. You all don't even know. America's fascist, bro. Trust me. You don't know. You ain't been there yet, okay? You can get in trouble for stuff like conduct unbecoming, right? Which is like, hey, the vibes are off. I think I've told you guys this before. But I'm like 99% sure that infidelity, if it's not part of conduct unbecoming, is actually against the law in the Marine Corps, because you can't fucking, or the military in general, because you just can't fucking cheat on your spouse. It's just a crime. She can cheat on you. It doesn't fucking matter, but you can't cheat on your spouse. That's happened to guys while I was in. That's like one of the few things that will get you fucked up as like a sergeant or an officer. A bunch of people getting like sexually assaulted under your command, like somebody getting murdered, like people just accidentally drowning. Hey, things happen. But like you fuck up bad because generally all the fucking wives hang out with each other, and like, you know, hey, you know that fucking Colonel, like, Matthias is friends with your wife. You know that, right? She came over to Colonel Matthias's house crying last night. You are about to get fucked with a green dildo the size of a goddamn redwood tree, because he doesn't even care about infidelity, but he had to stay up listening to his wife, and she was fucking pissed, and now he's pissed. And guess what? He outranks you, and now you're fucked. Like, that's the military. It's a gnarly place, okay? Don't do it. But yeah, he got in trouble for some shit like that, and got booted. And then the other dude that we're gonna be bringing up in here, he got removed from Afghanistan and being in charge of Afghanistan because he got interviewed by, I believe, Rolling Stone once upon a time, and it was like, America's new rock star general or something is going to change Afghanistan. And that guy was just like, wow, Barack Obama's kind of a dumb fuck, and he's not doing shit. And I've told him that to his face, and he didn't do a fucking thing, which is wild. So he just like shit talked the commander in chief. It might not have been in such egregious terms, but trust me, just saying anything negative towards all of the people is insane to do, because he is the commander in chief. He's the head of the executive branch of the federal government, of which you are merely a pawn, even as a general. And he can veto your promotion to anything. So it's just, don't ever pick a fight with the president when you're in the military, because he's the god emperor, quite literally, of your entire life. He can have you shot. The president can have you shot if you're in the military and you do certain things. Like, he can basically kind of sidestep the judicial process if he really wants to, just cause. More than likely it would be like political suicide. You'd just be like, what happened? Like, I just ordered a random lance corporal to be killed. Like, you wouldn't do that. But he has the juice to do it, especially if you step out of line. They can hit you as hard as they want. Literally just steamroll you out of existence. And that's who they're comparing this guy to. And he really is like that. This Brett dude in Ben Shapiro's book is a fucking dipshit, and talks shit to the president the entire time. The president, of course, is a Democrat and therefore a bad guy. He's a bleeding heart, commie, pinko, and that's pretty much enough for him to also functionally be Satan. But we'll get to that. So yeah, they were cheating. Then I'm a damn fool, Brett said. I've got men in the field, and I'm not going to abandon them just because some floozy is telling purple stories. You don't really have men in the field as a general. That should be understood. When you're at that level, because you're no longer a company grade officer, people don't go with you. You go to people in a crazy way. So when you're a general, with notable exceptions, if like quite literally you're in charge when an entire thing happened, like the invasion of Iraq, a general actually moves on the great chessboard of the earth. Any other, like with all of the people, any other time, generals move from command to command. They don't bring the commands with them. Generally, they're in charge of such a large area that they don't go place, and their men aren't places. Their men are everywhere, right? So like if you're the general, if you're head of, for instance, 1st Marine Division out of Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, your men are always everywhere. Your men are in 29 Palms doing training. Your men are in Virginia doing training. Your men are at Cherry Point doing training. Your men are on Camp Lejeune murdering hookers in the barracks. Your men are overseas fighting, maybe even just sitting at chow hall. You have so many people in so many different places that to even like say that is like because that's not your job. You don't really have men in the field that it's you are quite literally at the I am moving chess pieces, and the chess piece is like a risk token level of movement. It's just a strange thing, like a self-absorbed thing to say. Some guys do say that kind of stuff, but honestly, like if you were going on jogs and getting interviewed by some reporter, you didn't really care that much in the first place, kind of vibe. But it's just a strange thing to say. Do your job as a general. Like your first duty isn't quite literally to the men on the field. It's like in a grand scheme way to all of the men that will ever be on the field in the first place.
Oh, perfect.
As a general grade officer, like at the tippity top, the present isn't really your concern at all anymore. This is like the metaphysical like understanding of combat, because you can't even see or interact with real-time shit. Because that's like for guys like me, I'm running around, gotta climb up this building so I can go throw red smoke over those trees. You know what I'm saying? And then like the guy that's over 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 me, that dude works for you in like Quantico, Virginia, talking with a bunch of people that do stuff, and you've got to make sure all of those gears work correctly. It's just a strange thing to think. As a matter of fact, if a general has said that, maybe there's a way that they articulate it correctly, but it's not like a thing. But your goal is to make sure everything operates smoothly, so that like a decision that you make based on like deciding like what kind of fucking body armor that you want to go to, you want to like work with at trial, and you've got to go talk to fucking Congress about like, hey, during this round of acquisitions, our biggest focus is no longer on additional 2-inch thick rolled steel armor for the M1 Abrams like Mark II defensive platform. Those platforms aren't as necessary, we've found, anymore. Our biggest concerns are Osprey insurance, and then also like increasing the overall like lifespan of SAPI plates, because we found that they're getting they're getting banged up too much, and the entirety of like 1st Mardiv is suffering a staffing problem, so we're going to have to like readjust staffing going in that direction. Additionally, we have done some research into troop retention via these firms, and we have found that the current retirement age is not very appealing to American citizens that are considering entering the military, and we think that a reduction of that retirement age and an increase of 2 to 4% pay overall for incoming enlisted individuals, and a increase in the pay bump from NCO to staff NCO of about 6% in order to offset the costs of just being an older gentleman, like we all are, in the military, is going to definitely increase the amount of troops that we have actually. That's what you do as a general, by the way. Ospreys are insured? No, they're not. That guy didn't pass that through. Osprey insurance is a fucking great joke if you were in the military when I was. That's what a general does. It sounds fucking miserable, right? But that's what you're signing up for. You've got to go and have like coffee in uniform with a senator from fucking South Dakota who's just going to be like, look, what you need to understand is even though I moved to South Dakota from Alabama, I feel like a true South Dakotan. And they say they want our tanks. They want our APC. I don't even know what an APC is, let me tell you. But they want our APCs that they say are non-operable. They're going to take them all the way out there to North Carolina and drop them off in the ocean to make fish houses. Now, what do you say about it? I say they can't have them. I say they can't have an American taxpayer paid for that APC. Why are you going to turn it into a fish house? Well, you got to understand, Senator, thank you for your time. I love this place, by the way. Those APCs are past their service life. One of the biggest concerns for threat management going into the future for the United States military and for the American people is shoreline degradation. I know that's a little out there for anyone. We're out here in North Dakota, a little landlocked. But shoreline degradation is impinging our ability to launch battleships of a certain depth. We've got to make sure that the keel depth is up to 30 meters in these areas because of wave changes and stuff. And dropping these APCs off the shore helps coral build, fish get there. It's a large ecosystem thing. I know. You can ask the eggheads about it. It's not my deal either. But we need those APCs dropped off. I've got guys on it that are talking about it. Yours are past their shelf life. We're going to pull all the oil out of them. We're going to pull all the stuff. We're going to drop that steel off the coast, and we're going to turn those into reefs. Hopefully that's going to end the shoreline degradation that's going to build up the Navy. I know, hey, the Navy needs all the help that it can get. Yeah, I was in the Army. Not really my thing, if you know what I mean, but that's what we're going to. And what we're going to try to do for you, by the way, is we are going to try to increase personnel at this base over here by about 2,000 to 3,000. We're going to bring over this regiment from North Carolina. It's kind of been on standby since the end of operations. We had some stuff going on in Kuwait. We're going to bring them over here. This is going to be their permanent duty station. That's going to bring at least 2,000 military jobs, federal money coming into your state. And all of the ancillary jobs that are going to pop up around that. We expect at least 25% of those are going to be company grade officers as well, which is pretty good. They're going to be wanting to send their kids to college. They're going to be wanting to send their kids to the best schools that they have around here because we don't have any schools on that base. That's going to be a pretty solid boon. I think that could probably help make up for that. Or what do you think? As a matter of fact, it's not really for us to decide. But when you head back to Joint Action Committee and you talk that through, just remember this conversation that we had. And also, Uncle Sam's going to pick this one up for you. That's what a general does. I can't even that's their life. It's fucking miserable. And it's why they end up going into stuff like Walthrop Grumman and shit. Because it's what they're good at. That's it, man. They're not exciting people. If they wanted to be like, my men are in the field and I've got to be out there for them. And there's some dipshits that make it up that high. But usually our general, people that make it that high, they're doing tactical maneuvers against people in a situation that actually does often warrant reward merit. You're trying to out tactics in politics people like General Mad Dog Mattis. You know what I mean? Even Petraeus is fucking not great as he was. That's a keen military mind. These guys are all fucking trying to outdo each other for the best positions. And the rules that go around it, and because they're all watching and making sure everybody stays above, it could be bad. It's not perfect, but the higher ranking officers I have always noticed are infinitely better at everything that they do than the lower ranking ones. You usually matriculate out if you're dog shit when you're a captain because you never see the negative reports. Those go through the enlisted people who go and whisper it right into the ear of some command sergeant major that's over here oh, that fucking captain? Goddamn Presbalewski over there? He lost 2 rifles and had his boys covered up for him. By his boys, I mean my boys, who almost got fucking Section 8'd out of here because they're almost had to go to the fucking brig for lying to me about rifles. Thank God one of them had the balls to say a fucking lieutenant told them to lie about 2 rifles. Can you believe that? His dad got him off of something, but no. When they take him up to boards, I don't want anything. No, I literally, I can't take it. I will literally run him over with a car if I see him on a range. So don't bring him over to my side of the base with a fucking Oakley fawn. Like, that's the vibe. A10 is ugly and gray. I'm sorry. The military is so much more interesting than people give it credit for, because everybody just wants to do the dumbest fucking like run and gun bullshit. But like the politics and the dipshittery that goes on is fucking amazing. And I just wish people took it more seriously. Back to fucking Ben's dumb goddamn book. The driver approached the crowded Kabul Farushga, parked the vehicle, and then whispered to himself, Allahu Akbar. This is, we're still going, okay? So let's just skip through this. We start getting into points. Every time it's like a blue thing, that's where Ben starts saying like just random anti-democratic nonsense. Just the troops sprang into action, trying to administer aid, trying to save lives. They'd been hamstrung by the administration when it came to killing terrorists, but at least they could help victims. It's the old ROEs. The old ROEs argument, if you guys remember that, rules of engagement. I don't feel like I can kill every single person I feel like. I don't have the warrant to kill in Iraq that just the average Chicago police officer enjoys. Of course, oh yeah, this one's because it's just the very first Allahu Akbar, of course. You're never going to say that. No one's ever going to say God is great, which is like just the most basic, like, oh, Jesus Christ, you know, thing that Arabic people say or fucking like Muslims say. It's a they say Allahu Akbar about everything. They say it during their prayers. They say it when if like a goat rolls down a hill and then like stands up with no like injuries. Oh, Allahu Akbar. Like, fuck. It's the same thing, okay? But in Benland, it's going to preface an explosion, of course. Okay, so this is where shit starts to pop off. It's absolutely ridiculous. Brett gets into a fight with the ambassador to Afghanistan, and this is where like the whole thing starts to fall apart. Brett's fighting the ambassador to Afghanistan's like crooked, whatever, and then Brett gets mad at him, and like the base gets attacked, and the base in Kabul just gets fucking annihilated somehow. During this, every helicopter that's ever existed in Kabul also like disappears, and like he gets left out to dry. Get your pansy ass onto the roof right now, he said, slowly glaring. Feldkopf. Yeah. I'm going to skip through the rest of this shit because it's boring as fuck. Basically, he does action movie shit and like tries to sort of save like a private on the way out, because there's only two types of people in action movie. There's like red shirts and then like a gentleman officer who can fucking bullseye the fucking wings off of a fly at 100 meters with a fucking M9 of all things. That kid dies. He runs around. He finds some shit. Yeah. It had been 3 hours. Brad's in. Okay. Skipping to the next whole fucking chunk of shit. All right. We meet the fucking Prescott. This is the first 13% of the book, by the way. I was still going through it. The entire first 13% of the book is just a exhaustive and endless description of Brett, whatever the fuck's name's career, as like a news story goes. Endless, miserable, dog shit. We get to the president. President Prescott is just like a white Democrat guy. He is, I feel like he's like John Kerry-ish, you know? Like he's got like a John Kerry vibe is what we go after. He is talking about he wants to put in state something. It's called like Work for Freedom. Or I think this actually, yeah, okay. So Prescott He spent on green technologies, on education programs, on food stamps, and highways and medical mandates. Yeah, he's unfathomably based, but he's also like, I don't like military. Like that, like whenever Prescott has like a moment, like his evil moments, or when he's just like, he's spent on vacations and dinners and public works projects. What the fuck? Every dollar spent, he told the American public, created $5, no 10 in commerce. The money could be hidden in the mattresses of the rich, or it could be shared with everyone. Based. He had to add extra shit in there that didn't have anything to do with the guy's policy. He just had to slander this fictional character he made up, and say that he's also doing graft. Okay. Well, you have to understand. Imagine this way: you have a president. Okay, we're gonna say his name's President Prescott. He goes out there. He puts in work programs. He says, I'm going to give money to the poor. He says, I am going to put people to work. And that when we put people to work, that for some reason, the money's going to cycle around. Who's going to pay for it? That's my question. Who's going to pay for it? The rich? Who are the rich? Or is that you? They will say the rich, and then yet, when the tax man comes, who are they going to come for? They are going to come for you. They're going to come for your child tax credit. It's like, yeah, because fucking Republicans are still around, man. We all know who's going to fucking make the poor people pay first. All right? Yeah, and even if the fucking Democrats make poor people pay first, the Republicans are going to make damn sure that poor people pay fucking twice. I'm going to get you in the stock dividends, and I'm going to get you in the hospital, and I'm going to get you in the boardroom, and I'm going to get you when you pay your rent. But you better worry about old Uncle Sam, because he's going to take a percentage of the pittance I leave you, boy. So we go through here. We're talking about... This is awesome. Bradley stood silent. Then after a pause, he noted softly, Mr. President, the treasury is empty. This is never explained in any way that makes sense, because this is like they're putting together a work program, right, where they're going to put money into, which works, by the way, every time. If you just fund public works project, and when you put money literally just down into the community, it's impossible for just every single person to somehow make the money disappear, and they start spending it amongst each other. It's just a fact. It's just a fact of life, you know, because you're like, oh, what, this drug dealer made $1,000, and it's like, yeah, did he spend it all on whatever because he had to have bought fucking some fried chicken at Indies at some place, you know what I mean? Like he's got to buy gasoline for the car you don't want him to have. He's paying fucking rent. All that money's going around in the fucking community. Like that shit is how you fucking live. Instead of like, no, gotta keep it. The treasury is empty though, is fire. As though it's like literally like Donald or Scrooge. What happened to me treasury? Where did it all go? He checked earlier by jumping off the diving board at the U.S. Capitol building that just leads to the treasury, and then he just hit the concrete at the bottom. Ah! Just 2 days ago, we were swimming in gold and spitting coins into the air. I'm supposed to be Scottish, aren't I? But I can't do a Scottish accent. Scottish people are technically subjects of the crown. Less based. Can't do the accent, sorry. Scots malding. Okay. So, Jesus fucking Christ. All right, next we're introduced to Soledad O'Brien, who...
Oh, shit.
She lives in Central Valley.
Brazilian wandering spider. I think that's the most poison spider in the world or some shit. They're also called, like, banana spiders, I think.
The least Latina.
Because people kept finding them in, like, bananas and shit.
She's a rancher, okay? And she decides to do terrorism because she can. Her ranch gets shut down because of some EPA regulations. It's just the ranch thing again. Remember when we had the ranchers that were taking down the federal government by invading like a Parks Department building and like holding Parks Department employees hostage and then doing a standoff with the federales? I still think those dudes should have been fucking blown away. Just on the principle of fucking wasting everybody's time. It would have just been funny, you know, to see people huff and puff. Some dipshit got fucking cracked by the FBI for pointing a gun at him. I think that shit's fucking hilarious. I don't care what side you're on. She fucking loses her farm and becomes a terrorist. That's her entire fucking arc, okay? She's barely in the story, and you may recall we were in Afghanistan, and then the president, okay. The president's relation to Afghanistan is literally, he's just always antagonistic to Brett. Soledad's relation to everything is just like... Leftists made her lose her farm in Central Valley, California. Her ranch. She had a ranch in Central Valley, California, which I don't even know if that's particularly. All California farmers are on notice eternally. Like, it's mostly arid, and like, if you had to do that much irrigation to grow fucking cabbage in California, like, dude, just try to do farming somewhere else. It's all like, it's not. Or raise taxes on rich people so that they can't afford the $4 billion they need to fill their fucking pools up in the hills of California. Like, you gotta choose one. Choose your direction, Western man. Higher taxes on the rich, or fucking leaving because you're a fucking farmer in California. That shit's wild. Also, like, if you're a farmer and you have trouble in America, it's always just a little bit like, but get dunked on, because the Native Americans, man. I feel like the government's not making me feel welcome on my own land. Well, yeah. Well, we've been farming here for generations. Yeah, but like, how many? My great granddad was a pioneer. In like 1917, man. Well, we've had our farm down here in Virginia since the 1600s. Oh yeah, you just you guys out there in Virginia growing tobacco on your own. What makes the grass grow? So Soledad's like giving cookies to like SWAT guys, and eventually like the SWAT guys decide that they like her. Here we go. This is why she loses everything. You have to fucking dig down. Then one day she received her property tax bill. The state government, hard up for cash, had decided to raise the property tax. She owed a supplemental $15,000. Like, does he not know how fucking state taxes work and like property? That's fucking wild. Because it's not like then one day the state just raised property tax. Who knows? Anything could happen. Like, there's a whole fucking like legislative thing. It doesn't just fucking happen. And no farmers get like caught unaware by this shit. They're all fucking involved in that stuff. It's part of your business. You know what I mean? It's like, somebody that has a gun shop, and they
no, I accidentally,
pulse of like
just leaked my fucking system, fucking, system specs.
They all know, and they're all fucking a part of it. She's like,
I'll know I have a shitty computer.
Farming my horses one day, just doing a horse farm in Shapiro Town, milking my horses, and then the government's G-man came by and said, I'm 15,000 short, and now I have to leave. The same day, she received a letter from Emilio. This is one of her workers. This is fucking awesome. Every fucking person that's in this book that's not like an important white guy gets just greased off screen. If they're not a bad guy or like an important white guy, you will just get greased off screen with no ceremony as just like a footnote in like a up-jumped New York Post story that like Shapiro half remembered. The same day she received a letter for Emilio. He and his family had been forced to take a small apartment in East LA. I was born in East LA. I fucking love that guy. Emilio had gotten a job at a local factory. Their son, Juan, had enrolled in the public high school. That's where he had been killed. One of his classmates apparently had tried to recruit him into a gang. When he refused, several of the gang members found him in the bathroom. They began punching him. When he fell, they kicked him. And when he didn't get up, they fled. With the prose written with the smoothness of peanut butter. So, like, there's just a bunch of shit with her. Soledad. Is this where? Yeah. Okay, so she begins a standoff because she's, like, going to lose her farm, and then she starts a standoff with a SWAT team that's just in the area. I don't know. Now we meet Levon. we meet Levon, the only black main character in this entire thing, who is literally just like a hand-wringing, slimy race grifter. Detroit was a shithole, but it was his shithole. That's the way Levon Williams thought of it. He'd grown up in this shithole right near 8 Mile Road, which Ben knows from famous Detroit-born rapper Eminem, Marshall Mathers. Also known by his moniker Slim Shady, a member of D12, recruited into the rap game by Dr. Dre. They say Dr. Dre's dead. No, he's locked in my basement. Shady, why is your face red? Basehead. I can't remember any fucking rap lyrics. Don't at me. Detroit was right near 8 Mile Road, a long stretch of street separating Detroit from Oakland County. I don't feel like anybody thinks of it. That I've known a bunch of people from Detroit. I've been to Detroit like a number of times. I have a friend that lives off of 12th Mile in Rosewood. He lives up in that area, so I've been. Like, I drove around. Like, I drove down 8 Mile. It's cool. In Detroit, all of the mile roads are literally just all mile because it's a motor city. Like, literally, it's all for cars. It goes up to, I think, 24 Mile, and it's just rings of roads around the center of the city. So, like, all of that still, like, everybody just still kind of says, like, they're from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? And you just take, like, the highway out, and then you get off onto the miles, like, whatever mile road you're from. That's it. Roseville. He's from Roseville. I think it's 12th and Roseville. I could be mixing up two, because I knew another guy that was from, I think, like 23 Mile and like, I can't fucking remember. I don't know. But it's a big ass fucking like mostly empty city. It's built like fuck by morons. Detroit was 85% black with a median household income of $27,000 per year. Oakland County was 77% white with a median household income of $65,000 per year. End up on the wrong side of the street, you could wind up carjacked, mugged, or beaten and left for dead because those rich white people are fucking out for you. Did we have to specify? I guess we didn't. The emergency response time measured 25 minutes from City Hall to downtown Detroit. This is a fictional book. Can I just repeat? This is painful. I might look like disheveled and sweaty. It's A, because this is a very warm sweater, and B, because this fucking story is horrible. This character has nothing to do with fucking anything until the third act of the book, okay? Until the third fucking act. I know I'm supposed to be slowing down here for a second. Levon's whole thing is that he's a race grifter, all right? Who is underneath the, like, awning of another race grifter. There's, like, other things, but that's all he does. Levon's whole deal is that, yeah, sure, black people have it bad, but, like, what I do is I set things up so that I can cause racial unrest between black and white people, which would probably be insinuated, probably not be as bad if it wasn't for my race grifting. And then I go in and I take advantage of it and make money. Like, that's his whole thing. He's a stand-in for, you know, honestly, like, some actual real people. But that's only, like, the grifting side of it. The starting all of this stuff, it's inferred, like, actually really happens. But, like, no, dude, fucking, like, Sean, what's his name? Sean King, Talcum X, as I've heard him described. He just lets the news happen. He does not try to generate himself because he doesn't need to. The cops handle that on their own without any interference. But we find that in Shapiro world, in Shapiro's America, it's not quite that way. I'll go down here. This is an insanely large amount. Levon gets an entire fucking backstory of bullying shit. He talks to people. Yeah, okay, then we're done. Okay, so we get down to this part. I guess I forgot to highlight this. This is the inciting incident for Levon's entire side plot that goes fucking nowhere. Literally tied into the whole Afghanistan terrorism angle with fucking, like, twine that is stretched absolutely to the tips of it. I'm just going to read this most of this entire thing. Though I'm not. I'm actually just going to describe it because I forget how fucking long-winded he is. A cop named O'Sullivan gets a report of a robbery at a gas station. He goes to the gas station. There's a little black kid standing out in front of it. You already know how this ends. You know how this ends because you know how it ends. All right, no surprises here, my friends. The little kid starts talking shit. The kid laughed again. A musical tinkling noise. You ain't gonna shoot me, pig. What, you afraid of a kid? O'Sullivan could feel every breath as it entered his lungs. This is very... The whole thing feels very... My wet-ass P-word. The whole time. No, kid, I don't want to shoot you, he said, but I need you to cooperate. Put your hands above your head right now. This is a literal, 10, 11-year-old child. The kid's hand shifted to his waistband again. O'Sullivan's hands began to shake. The best part is trying to write a cop that is justified in his killing of a young black kid in Shapiro's mind, like it's a forgivable act, is that you have to write the cop as the gigantic pussy all fucking leftists describe cops as when they shoot kids in real life. It's a kid in front of a gas station, right? And he's not far away from this kid. Like, it's a close conversation. You could just kick a fucking child in the chest and you're done with him. You're a grown man. It's a child. Kick him. His head is at barely above knee height. Just fucking put a boot in his face and knock him the fuck down. Shit. Ben Shapiro's cops. I want to read this kid as Kuno because you ain't gonna shoot me, pig. What, are you fucking afraid of a kid? You hear the dice roll? No, kid, I don't want to shoot. You gotta read this. You gotta read this as the lizard brain.
O'Sullivan could feel every breath as it entered his lungs. No, kid, I don't want to shoot you, he said. But I need you to cooperate. Put your hands above your head. Right now. The kid's hand shifted to his waistband again. O'Sullivan's hands began to shake.
Get the fuck out of my neighborhood, pig!
The kid repeated.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it full bucket. If you do it full Disco Elysium, it makes a little bit more sense. He's just rolling fucking dex checks and shit, failing.
Right now, all O'Sullivan was thinking about.
He writes so bad, I can't even do a Disco Elysium voice because there's no smoothness to it.
Right now, all O'Sullivan was thinking about was getting this kid with the empty eyes to back the fuck off.
Go on home,
he said.
You go home, white boy, said the kid. His hand moved lower.
You try to convince the kid to leave, but he stays there, his eyes mad. Clearly, he's on some sort of drug.
Kid, I'm not gonna ask you again. I need you to put your hands on top of your head and get on your knees. Fuck you, pig! It's the best. It's the best way to read it. Critical fail on a roll to convince him.
The hands kid was nearly inside his waistband now.
Don't do that, O'Sullivan said.
The kid smiled, almost gently.
Don't. Get the fuck out of my hood!
The kid cheerfully repeated.
I'll cap your ass, pig! I can't, I'm sorry. The bit has gone on. Authority check, thank you. Only you could elevate Ben Shapiro's work ethic. I almost like it when you read it as DE, thank you. Kuno doesn't fucking care, Ben Shapiro.
Kuno wrote his own book, and it's twice as good as yours. He wrote it when he was taking a shit the next day. The night before. It's written on toilet paper, and it's under Revishol in the fucking sewer pig.
The roar shattered the night air, a sonic boom in the blackness. The shot blew the kid off his feet completely, knocked him onto his back.
That voice requires so much air without like a lot of noise coming out of it. Sullivan reads it, he's shaking. Shots fired. Officer needs help at the gas station on Iowa and Van Dyke. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Sullivan repeated as he moved toward the body. He talks so much more. The kid was wearing a Simpsons shirt for some reason, by the way. So you get the line, the blood seeped through Homer Simpson's face, pulled around the kid's lifeless body.
The blood seeps.
I gotta remember, I wish I'd played Disco Elysium in the last like 2 months so I could remember the checks and what they sounded like. But I want to do the one for, oh God, what is it? Like the heightened senses that make you feel crazy.
The blood begins to... The blood begins to soak through the yellow face of the cartoon character.
Oh my God. Officer Ricky O'Sullivan sat down on the curb and began to cry. Hey, he feels real bad about it. Real bad about it.
Oh God, do you know what this means? Do you know what it feels like to kill a kid? I wrote a song about it. Bam, bam. Killing a child in Detroit's no joke.
That would be the most fire. Dude, the fucking South Park creators' adaptation of Ben Shapiro's True Allegiance would be the best.
Another young life gone up in smoke. Oh no. I told him to raise his hands, and he gave me some lip. He reached for his waistband, and I emptied my clip. Emptied my clip. Emptied his clip. Emptied my clip. Emptied his clip. Oh no.
God damn it, dude. I want that shit. I want that shit like you fucking would. If we ever make a fucking Liefeld High or whatever we're gonna call it, there's gonna be a short scene between where two people are like trying to practice for True Allegiance, the musical.
You can't trust men that don't make money. 15%. Do 50% of the crime. Isn't that funny? Facts don't care about your feelings, but I'm feeling bad.
Right.
One day maybe we can all get along.
You?
Until then, I'm just feeling sad.
Oh, everyone the fucking talk. Everyone
This is all
vibes the
for me, dude.
emotion.
Oh my God, what's
Ellen.
going on? Okay. So we are now. Who is this? This is Ellen. Okay, so this is the
Thanks, don't
Super General's wife lives in El Paso, Texas, of course. So now we are going to get into Mexican boogeyman territory. A lot of people have criticized Breaking Bad for being a little over the top when it comes to depiction of cartel activities, just to make them a little bit spiced up and more interesting. You know, like the cartels do, you know, abominable things. They commit horrific crimes. But they're like not that creative. So, you know, the like fucking Machete's fucking head on a turtle, like Ola de, that's not a super common thing with the exploding turtle, you know? That's pretty fucking wild. In Shapiro's America, the cartels are a cooperative, anti-American, anti-white military force that only the
actually.
Texas National Guard can keep at bay. We're gonna go ahead. Another dead kid. He was the fourth in 2 days. His body so bloated he was barely recognizable as a boy. And there's only one way to tell. Move aside. I can't figure out if a child is a boy or a girl. I have the technique to do it. I am called upon in this capacity very often. Thank you. Please excuse me. I went to Harvard. Kids are drowning and stuff. The coyotes really did a number on him. Vivian's voice sounded small behind her, scared. So, like, this is a kid that gets beaten to death by a coyote in America, in El Paso, Texas, which is fucking wild. Because I don't know why that would fucking happen. I think the insinuation here is that he doesn't pay. I can barely remember this part because it just goes off the rails in like 10 seconds. This isn't the craziest part. But, like, the way that coyotes work is they're going to take you across the border for money. They are going to make sure before they walk you or drive you or take you across the border that you have the money on their side. Usually if the coyotes do violence, they do it in Mexico. And they won't leave dead bodies on the ground where they're working, because that is what you call evidence and a trail to make it harder for them to do their jobs the next time. There's dipshits out there that fuck things up for everybody. Don't get me wrong. But most of the kids that die, most of the people that die trying to come north from Mexico die from exposure to the elements. The desert is sufficient of a murderer. It does not need generally assistance from people. And in El Paso, you're going to beat a child to death like randomly. Why? Who knows? No real reason. Crazy. So we go down here a little bit. The flood wasn't completely expected. Okay, this is a train of death. Some of the children rode the so-called train of death from the southern border of America, then waited for American Border Patrol agents to pick them up in the desert. I know I'm skipping through chunks of this and just trying to like remember, even though I have stuff highlighted. You got to understand, I'll just read any random paragraph. Watch. Any random paragraph, this is what it sounds like. The first bullet missed Vivian, but the second caught her directly in the face. Her head slammed back against the seat rest, the back of her head splattering. One moment, her pretty face was staring directly at Ellen. The next, there was no face, just a mess of tissue and tendon and bone and blood.
Tendon?
Actually,
in the face,
I accidentally picked. I rolled a critical success 20 on that selection. Still one of the most boring paragraphs you ever heard. A lady just gets executed by the fucking cartel. She gets shot. Ellen, the general's wife, still in El Paso, Texas, for whatever the fuck reason. She's working there.
What the fuck?
Her fucking assistant gets just blown away in their car by cartel people who hop in a series of black helicopters and fly off. So the cartel actually has more helicopters than they have on Brett's base back on the other side of the world. We get a little bit. Sometimes Ben blesses us with random foreign words, and it's great. Allah is never translated into God, which is literally just the fucking word it is. So any Arab person, even though if they're speaking English, it will kind of make sense, like if they just say Allah. But like if you're talking about it, like he refers to any Muslim reference to God is Allah, not God, even though it's the same God. It's just different ways of approaching. But like Jewish God and fucking like English, like you know, I don't know if there's even any Jewish characters in this, but like there's no like differentiation. Like we don't call like the Jewish God Yahweh. You know what I mean? Like they pray to Yahweh, and then like the English people, Christians get God. Like there's not that three. No, so Jewish and Christians pray to God. Muslims, well, no, Allah. So they just ice this chick. This has nothing to do with anything, other than she's married to the one guy. She's sad that her friend dies. Okay, we're back in Kabul, Afghanistan. By the way, this is the same story. All this shit reads like fucking Ben Shapiro, great, like a Daily Wire. Imagine like reading Daily Wire stuff for more than 5 minutes. That's what this is. It's miserable. But we go back. He's just fucking dipshits thinking about Ellen again. I can barely. At night, the streets emptied completely. Even the Taliban fighters didn't want to be in the open. They'd be in nearby apartment buildings, no doubt huddled around their primitive fires. It's Kabul. It's Kabul, Afghanistan. They have heat. If you're in a house, it's not a primitive fire. They have fucking fireplaces. They have like chimneys and stoves. I just thought that was funny. So he's here back in Afghanistan wandering around. I probably sort of covered all of this before. Better to crack a few teeth than to be featured on CNN being dragged through the streets. Oh yeah, he puts his gun in his mouth. He puts an M9 in his teeth and like bites down on it for the pain, which is the wildestly stupid thing. Don't ever bite down on something metal for the pain. He's in the military. He can just take his belt that he should be wearing off and bite on that, which is what you do. That's a thing. That's just the thing that you do. It's just always there. Maybe his hat, I don't know. But he just bites down. By the way, an M9 is like one of the thickest 9mm pistols too. It's just a clunk. So there's just a guy walking around, which is wild, like fucking Zorro from One Piece with the whole M9. It's the biggest fucking 9mm pistol. I swear, it's the biggest.
Actually?
Like this big, cute. It's just hobbling. It's the stupidest image possible. Like, he doesn't even know enough about the gun. You could at least, if it's useless, disassemble it and then bite on the barrel, you know, or something. I think maybe it's actually it might even be his magazine, but I think it said he bites down on the M9. Hold on, let me just double check real quick. If you fell asleep, carcass, whatever. Pitiful Hamlets, airport. Jesus Christ. Arms broken. Okay, he bites down on his magazine. Never mind, my bad. But still, fucking magazine. Like, you have a belt on, or just a shirt. Like, you could talk to anybody. You could talk to any medical professional will be like, I can just start thinking of things anywhere on earth that you should be biting down on more than a magazine. Like, was he wearing a shirt? Okay, put the shirt in his mouth. Just twist it. Because, like, I just don't want you guys out there to think, you know, if anyone is stupid enough to take advice for a Ben Shapiro thing, like, I don't know, if you get injured, don't take the magazine out of your gun and chew on it. You just crack your teeth. And then your teeth will be broken. Okay, yeah, the Taliban take over the airport, which happened eventually, but we had to leave first because we're so fucking badass that they had to fucking wait their goddamn turn. Let's stabilize. Okay, he does bullshit. Glock, a passport. Yeah, so this whatever. Brett had known of the CIA's discovery of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq for years. Everyone on the inside had known. The media had reported that the government had lied, that somehow all the world's greatest intelligence agencies had been dead wrong, but that wasn't the case. Hussein had smuggled some of the weapons out of the country to Syria. Friend. Bashar, is that, yeah, fucking Bashar al-Assad was just like, oh, you want anything? Yeah. Others have been buried in the desert, which is wild because this came out in 2016. Like, just writing that WMDs in Iraq fucking theory is still real in like the early 2010s is just a wild flex. I don't care about anything else that happened. The ambassador was a dickhead and was like working with the CIA about something. It's impossible to follow. We go back to the president. The president is doing some bullshit. Oh, this is this is a whole section on 9/11 trutherism. There was a huge number of foreign reports about people seeking to borrow shares in the days before 9/11. The volatility in the airline shares jumped 30% between September 4th and September 7th. Then boom, September 11th. The airlines get slammed. Stocks go through the floor. Somebody makes a bundle. Somebody who knew in advance. Betting against airlines is always a good bet because airlines are always losing money because it's public transportation that you are trying to make people pay for. Yeah, so this is just gibberish bullshit. The entire time. It's just more and more stuff about fucking Brett being stuck and like, what should we do? It's like a West Wing episode about people you don't care about. Mr. President said his secretary, a hot little hand-picked blonde number named Marissa. Marissa does not come back. Bubba Davis. Okay, so this is where we introduce yet another semi-main character, Bubba Davis, who is the head of he's the governor of Texas. His name's Bubba Davis, and he wants more support and individuals and money and guns and tanks and whatever for the Texas border. Right. This is found out throughout the entirety of all of these things. There's backstory extrapolated in all of these things. That's just a series of like stories that happen. Like he just tells like whole news stories again and again and again. Or we'll have to sit down and be like, he went from talking on Fox News, a great interview, speaking down, although one reporter asked him this little thing to this and that. This is it. Like I know I'm skipping through stuff, but you have to like shit is not related. And nothing fucking happens until the very end of this. It is just bullshit, meandering bullshit and whining and conspiracy theorizing, which you could probably get into more extensively, but it's literally just not worth it. Now we're in Austin, Texas. Brett had lost weight. Wait, what? Oh, okay, yeah. Brett gets captured by the Taliban and taken, we find out later, to Iran. It's just whatever. The storytelling goes fucking completely crazy. His wife is seeing him on whatever. Yeah, okay, so he's doing the fucking we're a prisoner jumpsuit, gonna get your head cut off type deal. The blood of innocence is on your hands, President Prescott, the masked figure said. Oh, this is just the only reason I even brought this one up. This is a great quote. She reached out to the television, stroked his cheek, the cheek that had laid on her breast the first night they made love, the cheek that had wet with tears the night of the miscarriage. His eyes blinked rapidly as she stroked the screen, almost as if she could feel her touch him across the world. I just have a lot of respect to say that because I'm 6'4", so if I sleep with a woman, her head's on my chest. Because women small, Tyler big. But Ben, when he thinks of sleeping with a girl for the first time, he's cuddle up on her, which is cute. It's okay. It's okay to be the little spoon as a big spoon. You know what I mean? It's just fucking funny as shit. Wait, didn't this lady die? No, the lady to the left of her got shot in the driver's seat of the car, but then she was fine. But they called her a pinche puta. Pinche puta. That's the only Spanish you get. And then they fly off in their cartel. After that, it's very true. Pinche puta. Tell your governor not to fuck with us anymore. And then they get in their helicopters and fly away. Tremendous. She goes to the Texas border. Close the border. Enough is enough. Protect your people. They're all doing that. For every nut with a gun, she knew, there were 10 willing to put him down. So she works apparently with like the governor of Texas doing some shit. I think I just forgot what job she has because it sounded like made up or stupid. She just has like a job where she's like a busybody. It's like a busybody fixer person that drives around and looks at shit. I don't know why she would be working directly for the governor of Texas and the wife of a Marine Corps general, which is an insanely large amount of money per year. I'll just leave it at that. And then also she's going out to like cartel murder sites, investigating like her job is insane. Bubba Davis. After we were introduced to Bubba, after a stint in Vietnam back in the late 1960s, Davis, a big bear of a man, burly and fun-loving, had come home without a job. He'd finally gotten one working on an oil rig, so he's an oil guy. Just so you know, Texas oil guy. Bubba Davis played politics like he played football. He pushed the line. The press called it swagger. He just called it the Texas way.
Doesn't ring a bell.
I just jumped into the stream. Does it pass the Bechdel test, Tyler? No. Wait. Sort of. Two women do have a conversation. It's not about a man. It's about a murder suspect. It's about a dead body. So we can just ignore that it's a boy. right before one of the women gets shot to death by the cartel. But that is, I believe, sufficient to... It's like a B. It's a B grade. It's like an 85 out of 100 on the Bechdel test. Since Marge died, Bubba Davis drank too much, smoked too many cigars. Okay, so Bubba's whole thing, I'm boiling it down. There's a lot of back and forth here. There's a lot of conversation. Conversation sounds like this. When two people talk in a Ben Shapiro book, it sounds like this. A shadow of a weary smile crossed Ellen's face. So what else is new? I'm not going to stand for it anymore. What can we do? You saw what they did to Vivian, and the feds hamstrung us. Not anymore. The cringe became a pit. What are you planning? I'm going to give them the authority to kick ass, Ellen. He said shoot, but I added that. Davis said softly. She couldn't stop herself before the words came out. You must be out of your mind. I'm not. I've only been out of my mind to think anything would change. I talked to Prescott yesterday. He's stonewalling me, threatened to send the feds against us, to arrest our boys, to arrest me. If I do a damn thing to stop this war, and it is a war. I knew Vivian too, Ellen. I recruited her to the office. Knew her from when she was a little girl and took piano lessons with my wife. That funeral was the last one I'll be a party to. This conversation continues. That's what I read. It goes all the way down. Do you want more? Do you think it ends as dialogue? Do you want more? Do you think you're going to learn anything? When I'm telling you I'm skipping through and barely making it, you have to believe me. Don't worry, they won't do shit. I know a coward when I see one, and Prescott's yellower than dehydrated dog piss. Central Valley, California. This is Soledad again. I think most of this is skippable. She ends up like teaming up with the SWAT guy. A SWAT guy feels bad for her and then helps her run away. And then she begins like a long pilgrimage across the north part of America again. Literally nothing to do with anything other than the specter of leftism has gotten her again. Oh, this is just a good one. The fucking feds shoot up her house from a helicopter with a 7.62, which is more than likely a pintle mounted. I believe the one you shoot out of a helicopter is an M240 hotel with spade grips and the specialized attachment for pintle mounting in a helicopter. M240 hotel 7.62 millimeter medium machine gun firing at the cyclic rate of 900 plus rounds per minute, I believe, 100 rounds per minute, 6 to 8 round burst, 6 to 8 round burst, 8 to 10 second pause. Die, motherfucker, die. Anyway, then the heavy caliber 7.62 millimeter rounds began crashing through the roof, bathing the bathroom in speckled light. As Soledad kicked out the last board and crawled beneath the home, as Foster followed, both of them belly down in the dirt, covering their heads. The ceramic tiles Soledad had so carefully picked to match the decor shattered above them. I cannot express in words how fucking dead you'd be. If a fucking... dude, if the 240 is raining down on you from above, you are chosen by God to live if you are in a fucking building where... Because this is just statistic, right? When you shoot a bullet through stuff, first off, it starts spinning around. So, like, it basically turns, when you fire a lot of bullets, into like a weird sort of shotgun kind of vibe. Especially if it's going down through a wooden house. The bullet's going to go here, 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 here. So one good round, we're blowing that. That's a little holes, right? All of the stuff it's hitting is receiving and then like being, it's physics, right? So if this piece of wood gets hit with the bullet, it's now moving as fast almost as the bullet was. It's getting blown out at bullet speed. All of that shit's happening. So like the little bits of tile and stuff are now their bullet speed, okay? It's called shrapnel. It's this whole thing. It might not have the exact math, like the exact force of shit, but all of that stuff is going to start hitting you. And it's going to hit you a lot. And it's so many bullets. It's so many bullets that if you can see the roof opening up around, like the you're probably getting hit with something, because also they don't stop moving until they're done, and bullets work a lot. If it's coming from down too, you're losing almost no fucking velocity from a helicopter. What, you 200 meters up, 100, just a house. Oh my god, somebody's getting fucking drilled. If you're seeing them coming through, they're going like this, pop, 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 pop. They'll puncture a roof and then glide down the fucking drywall, glide at like, you know, whatever, 700 miles per hour, some dumb, I can't remember the numbers, glide down the drywall and then ricochet up off of the tile. The whole thing gets filled. Like, you know when you spray water, right, in one direction, and you're like, hey, I'm good at spraying the water. I can hold the hose just right. You know when you spray water into a bucket, how it changes up a little bit? The vibe is different. Like that. That's what the bullets are going to do when they start going into the house. That's why shooting into a house from the outside is something you cannot do unless you want everybody to die. Because wall banging is not just like, hey man, I'm pretty good at Counter-Strike. Bloop, bloop, it goes through. No, the bullet goes crazy. The bullet explodes. It pops apart. It hits a nail that starts spinning and flying at that speed. It's real bad. It's real bad to be in a house that can be penetrated by bullets when they're coming in, because the bullets just keep going. I really can't nail that home enough. And if it's not sideways, if it's down, then they're going to hit the ground. And a bullet that hits the ground just comes back up. Anything that a fucking bouncy ball will bounce off of, think of it like this. If a bouncy ball will bounce off of it, you know, a bullet will bounce off of it. So your stone slab that your house is built on, rocks, hard-packed dirt, ice, anything, it'll bounce off. It's not like oh, hey, I can fucking shoot 3 fucking iron pans and like bend a bullet around a building kind of shit. It's just like, hey man, this thing's got it's now it's a toy and it's gonna go everywhere possible. It's just crazy that she's like it's so Hollywood, you know what I mean? But they escape. Whatever. Detroit. We're back to Levon. This is where we get into it. Levon had one of his boys give little Kendrick a $20 bill to go and harass the cop. Kendrick, of course, thought it was just a piece of good, clean fun. Messing with white cops was a rare joy. Made you feel like more of a man. I don't know when messing with white cops is a rare joy for somebody that I guess lives in the hood, because it's just like, what's up? They're fucking around. Ooh. It's that Sunday of the year. I'm going to go fucking take my life into my hands. And with all the big boys telling him how he'd be a boss in the neighborhood if he baited the cop, he'd been enthusiastic. He probably looked forward to coming home and telling his buddies how he'd told that cracker-ass pig to go to hell. Stared right at him and cursed him to his face, made the pig back down. Kendrick knew he was supposed to go for his toy gun. They told him it would be a joke, that the cop wouldn't do anything, that the cop would pussy out. Which is wild. Because, like, honestly, if the kid was just, like a little junior banger, right, and working for the other, like, you could just do that and just be like, oh, this kid was in a gang, like, as a really little kid, which happens sometimes because, like, fucking gangs will just take advantage of children that don't have parents that are looking out for them. It's just an unfortunate fact. But any kid, like, a random kid, I don't like it, isn't just gonna be like, hey, man, if you ever pointed a gun at a cop, like, as a black child, like, if you ever tried it, like, that's fucking... That's wild. I just want to see that experiment. Just try it. Just go around asking, like, random... and I think the kid's supposed to be, like, 10 or 12 years old, you know? He's not, like, 4. He's old enough to be, like, taken mildly serious by the cop, I guess, when he's like, fuck you, pig, I'll fucking shoot you. And, like, if a 4-year-old even fucking hold a gun in their waistband, but, you know, like, hey, let's be Shapiro's, all fucking, like, black 12-year-olds are, like, built like 18-year-olds in Shapiro land, all right? The 12-year-old black kid in Shapiro land's got a fucking beard, all right? He's got that fucking Cartoon Network high fade with the fucking sideways sideways fucking braids popping out. He's basically, he just looks exactly like that one chick from Apex, Bangalore. 12-year-old, 5'8", 5'9", you know, like pushing like 180, fucking no shirt, hair's got chest on it, you know, your average 12-year-old with a gun in his pants. You just gotta go to the hood sometime. You can just do it. You can visit if you want. I mean, I know it's terrifying, but just be like, hey, little 12-year-old kid, do you think the other neighborhood kids could convince you to go point a gun at a cop in front of a gas station at like 2 a.m? The kid would be like, what? It's fine. Because like you can convince kids to do all kinds of crazy shit. You know what I mean? But like some things, it's just not like, hey man, do you think you could convince a kid in your neighborhood to just literally go jump off a bridge, just jump off the interstate? Like, oh, it's fine. All the cool kids are doing it. Like, there's a way you could make that kid do it by like fucking with them, you know, like that's a possibility. But the kid's just like, oh, it's a little game. I'm a 12-year-old in the hood. The big boys said I'm going to go scare a cop at a fucking gas station at 2 a.m. What? It's just fire, and I love it. So we find out that the one black main character in this, the one black POV character that I've noticed reading through this book, is a race baiting race grifter, who has set up a black child to be shot by a cop. An impossible thing that would have never happened on its own otherwise in Detroit, Michigan. It would just never have occurred. No black child has ever been shot. No black person would have ever been shot in Michigan without this guy convincing a cop to do it. And it turns into this whole thing. It's basically Ben Shapiro, fucking Nostradamus, predicted like the Breonna Taylor protests. You know what I'm saying? Like he predicted the George Floyd protest. The people get mad, all right, and they want justice against the cop. And this dude, I still don't quite understand this because it doesn't make any goddamn fucking sense. Sorry, there's a part I gotta read here in a second. It doesn't make any fucking sense, but basically, I'm only a third of the way into this book. I'm probably going to skip to the end here in a second because it's 11:30 and I don't want to keep talking about it. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Oh, こんにちは。ハンターハンコックです。パパミトチャンネルを運営してます。今、グッズセル釈迦です。あなたの体を覆う服です。服の下に隠された恥やその恐ろしいものを隠すためのシャツ、ブティシャツ、普通のシャツ、それからボタンシャツなどきっと気に入っていただけるものがたくさんありますよ。多分そうだな。そう思う。だから自分のためにやるんだ。他の誰のためでもなく、子供たちのためなんかじゃない。この時期は少し自分勝手になって Meet Kenyonストールで何か買ってみて。そう、Meet Kenyonストールだ。思う。何か買ってみて。Meet Kenyonストールだよ。Arigato.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming and sitting down because today I have a giant zit on my eyebrow. See that? Look how angry that motherfucker is.
That's huge.
Is that crazy? Jarvis enhance.
Okay, Garmin.
Jarvis enhance.
Video speichern.
Isn't that crazy? If I close my eyes, does it look like a cyclops?
That looks like your third eye, yeah.
Should I just close my eyes this whole video? Anyways, today we're going to be talking about bus drivers. I'm sure many of you watching have memories of waking up early in the morning for school and getting on the bus, right? I know I did. It's probably one of the most unpleasant experiences that most of us have ever shared. Don't know why, but the bus is just kind of an unsettling place, filled with unsettling kids. Whether it's the thick, warm body odor or the obnoxious screams from other passengers, there are plenty of things that make bus rides absolute hell. At least for you, the ride gets to end as soon as you get to your destination. Bus drivers have to spend grueling hours dealing with all kinds of unimaginable horrors. So together, we're going to look into some of the most horrifying public transportation stories ever told about buses. It's a bus video, a big bus video. There's way too many videos of like drivers getting up and be like, "Get down!
If I see you out of that seat again, you're gonna get kicked off this bus."
A bit unruly. You know what? I'm going to go on a limb here and say it's a bit uncomfortable. Me watching a 58-year-old woman screaming at like a small child to sit down. And the kid being like, "I know you are, but what am I?"
I think the kids deserve it.
It's the unfortunate reality. It's the unfortunate reality.
We're seeing like a minute of this bus driver's life. This is.
Hey, how long have they been doing this? I know you are, but what am I? I think I'd snap too. I wouldn't be mentally strong enough.
I bet you every single bus driver has thought, what if I just went onto oncoming traffic or like went off of
Miss Driver? Jesus, take the wheel, take it from my hand. 'Cause I can't do this all. And Jesus grabs the wheel. He's just like, "We're going down."
Jesus, why?
If you're a bus driver, then you're trained to deal with all sorts of emergencies. This may not truly prepare you for the sheer amount of bodily fluids you'll encounter on the job. We're starting with body fluids. I'm getting it out of the way first, all right? Where there's going to be other stuff down the road, but we're getting bodily. I mean, you know what we're talking about. Come on. On long bus rides, people are usually on their phones or reading books to pass the time. These pastimes are not perfect and can cause motion sickness, which can lead to large messes. While driving through a hilly region, a bus
So without further ado, this is the many lies. Yeah, he did change this. The many lies of West Side Tyler. The video Tyler is terrified of.
West Side Tyler is a guy on the internet. A political and drama streamer who went from serving in the military to
arts, culture, and politics, baby. Hell yeah, dude, look at me. Oh, this is gonna be great, dude.
To writing a couple of books, some articles, and even creating an audio.
That's not an article. That was
being in the military to writing a couple of books. Some.
This is my old. This is the West Side. Hell yeah! This is the West Side Fairy Tales. Oh man, we might be watching the whole thing. This is the West Side Fairy Tales. Join my Patreon video. And that's the Green Man. I guess that's probably whatever. I was like, I would send these. I would print out a whole fucking manuscript of a story and send it to people. I'd sign it and send it to them because I didn't have any books.
Articles and even creating an audio series that garnered him with some awards. But now he has destroyed any credibility he once had through his own self-destructive downward spiral.
Yeah.
Where
Yes, that's mine. That's not
any
theirs.
credibility he once had through his own self-destructive.
I made that. I made that. That's mine. That's an advertisement for my fucking life. That's an advertisement for my podcast. That's mine. God damn it. Yeah, you notice that like all of this stuff, it's like, damn, Tyler's crazy. He's really losing his mind. It's fucking, all of this shit is publicly uploaded, and it's you should have played this the whole time. I think it's way longer than that.
Downward spiral, where he has shown.
I look so fucking cool. I'm just doing the fucking Jacob's ladder. Oh my god.
Past and present communities who he really is, a rat in the system, someone who leaves out context and information that goes against.
Oh no! There's no way I can watch this. He said he's someone that leaves out context. Posh. Posh Shine-ass community headpiece. Context.
What?
Mason wants you, that's what.
Fucking dude. My man made a 2-hour video to do a context
The
post.
narratives he creates. A person who accuses those critical of him of being predators or at the very least being